Hi everybody, and welcome back to StorytellerSpira's
Oh
channel
my god!
for Tuesday night Vampire the Masquerade. We've all missed it. All the busy, fun IRL stuff that has been happening lately kept us away from our game, but we are back now. We are here with episode 21, which should be a pretty spectacular little piece, depending on how things go. We do have our kindred here all reared up and ready to go check out this Diablerie auction. But before we actually dive into all of that, how are all of my lovely little ducklings, that being my
So
players, and all of the lovely people in the chat?
so good.
I'm in fact doing lovely.
So excited
Pretty
to get this
good.
game started.
Already seen some love in the channel chat. Love
Woo!
it. I'm always worried if it's like my mic is too far away or I'm just not talking loud enough. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go over a little bit of housekeeping as well, because I kind of realized all this time I was giving everyone experience and no one bought anything. So I was like, hey, guys, do you want to buy anything? Do you want to put anything extra on your sheet before you probably go into combat and stealth and stuff?
Yeah. Hey, also, I think we're mixed up on the Twitch, like our cameras.
Oh, I think someone dropped. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. Because I had it right at first.
I'm finally drinking an appropriate beer. I am drinking blood. And it's
Nerd.
okay. It is decidedly not awful, I guess. Hey, you know what I should probably do?
Yeah,
I should probably open up Twitch.
maybe. I don't know. You don't have to like talk to anybody while we're playing.
Yeah, but I'd like to.
Let me get a little music going. Alright, got a little something. So, alright, so, well, any of you decide if there is last minute points you want to throw somewhere on your sheet. As I kind of mentioned, I trust you guys, mostly. So if you do put anything on your sheet with your experience points, just keep track of it. And when I ask you for rolls, you know, as usual, I'll just tell you what you're rolling and you just use your points or your appropriate dice pool. Other than that, I will go over a little bit of recap, and then we'll also go over anything your characters would do in downtime. So let's see how much recap I'll cover. Essentially, as the game has been progressing over the last 20 plus episodes, you as a group have discovered that there is a secret auction to be had in New Orleans, in which kidnapped kindred, as well as kidnapped humans, who were turned solely for the use of Diablerie, are going to be auctioned off. Probably, you could assume, by some very cruel elders, maybe Sabbat mixed in. You did run into some Sabbat during your investigations. Who knows exactly who's running it? You just know that this is evil and wrong, even as you're vampires and you feed on humans and, you know, you have a strange unlife of your own going on. You all fit the bill of the Camarilla, where you find the idea of soul eating absolutely, horrendous. And, sorry, dog's being obnoxious with his food bowl.
And the cat.
So you are interested in stopping this, not only for the disgusting act that it is, but because it is affecting the city that you all call home and care deeply about. All of you are truly New Orleans in your blood. So you're trying to figure this out. So far, you guys have managed very well. You found out where the auction is being held, what night, and speaking with the prince, you have developed a working plan. Specifically that you're at least going to try and infiltrate to get the names and faces of who's running it if you don't actually manage to save the kindred and humans. But of course, we've got a couple white knights in the group, so that's definitely going to be on their radar. So, before we actually get started, I just want to go around. We chatted about it a little bit outside of game, but I do need to know what everyone's thinking, planning ahead of the night itself. People you're gonna contact, things you're gonna do on your own. Especially we have a mage in the group if she has things she's preparing. So let's go ahead and start with Rebecca, our Cult of Ecstasy mage, who, for, whatever reason, got wrapped up in this fun, and she's too curious to stop now.
Rebecca is definitely going to get some quintessence from her node before this, because it just seems in general like a good idea.
Okay. Anything else? Speaking with your avatar, preparing anything?
And then she's gonna ready her cat. She's also going to try and change her face a little bit, if possible.
Was she not also going to try and roll to bullshit her aura instead of just turning it off?
Also, yes.
What was that one?
So roll to do an aura shield, and basically when you shield it, you can kind of make it fucky and look a certain way if you prefer, because that's how mages do.
Yeah. You said ready tuna. What are you doing with tuna? Is she getting battle armor?
Right, that sounds adorable, but probably suspicious. She's gonna just kind of over the course of however long have tuna sort of in the area, so that way it's not at least there's maybe a precedent for why there's a cat around.
I know Theo is looking up something for his character, so let's ask Super Chocolate Bear as a Luther, the Toreador. What, if anything, are you gonna do prep-wise, mental, if not other, heading up to the night of the auction?
Prep-wise, you would try and see if there's, some kind of game that would be happening there, or somebody who would be going there that plays in one of the local games that might be into Diablerie. Vincent used to kind of dabble in playing games for higher stakes of life or death kind of a thing, and he might try and find somebody who's playing the same kind of game that he might be able to wiggle his way into the party if he could.
And Zabani as Abraham, our Ventru, what would you be thinking ahead of this evening? What would you want to try to help the group with?
So I'm gonna probably top up on blood. That's definitely a thing. I also will want to get with Rebecca and see if she might possibly know a way where I can go and find someone who is in a coma and see if I can't possess them so I don't have to destroy the mind of someone who is conscious to get on this boat.
All right, we might start with that one. Following up, was there anything else, Abraham?
I don't think so. If that doesn't work out, I might ask my PI to find someone who needs a lot of money and is willing to do something, maybe a little bit sketchy. But that's if the coma patient doesn't work out.
Hey, we're going to a hypnotist show.
Yes, and basically be like, hey, you need me to cover your ridiculous medical bills? I got you. But like,
all right. Following up, Elvish Dame as the lovely Toreador Dinah.
Thank you. Now, Dinah would probably, she would definitely fill up on blood. She would probably, she would try to see if there was any way at all for her to get in, and there isn't. So, like, not inconspicuously. So, probably just make sure Hector doesn't look like he's gonna run off and be an idiot. So, other than that, not really, just kind of waiting.
Bringing Hector along, though?
Isn't he supposed to be there?
You don't know.
Yeah, that was the original plan.
Yeah, no, he was supposed to be there. Like, he was the one that told us.
He told you. But anyway, Theo, our lovely Samedi.
He told me not to go.
Huh?
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Continuing a thought that had previously ended, and I interrupted, and I'm sorry.
That's all right. Koznark as the Samedi Theo, and for anyone who is interested in VTM and a little less familiar with Samedi, they are a clan of the vampires that appear like a rotting corpse, distinct from the Nosferatu, who are just ugly and usually like kind of rat and bat features. It actually looks just like a human corpse that is rotting away. He's very old, so now he looks like leathery and like pulled gross skin and maybe a bone or two showing here and there. And it is a distinct bloodline that is not found as often outside of New Orleans, so that's kind of their home base. So Theo, what are you thinking? You already spoke with your grandsire, the Baron Samedi, but he seemed a little aloof, only gave you some vague ideas, and didn't make anything clear as to whether he would help or not.
Not to, like, name check my reputation or anything with my grandsire. So Theo would probably, stock up on blood, play with some kittens, and probably mail a one of those anime body pillows to the Baron, saying thanks for the advice, and get ready to fight. Just whatever anyone else needs done.
Fair enough. Let's get the night started then, because this will be ahead of the auction itself, with Abraham reaching out to Rebecca.
this would be like a week early.
So Rebecca does have a bit of a human schedule as well. She does actually work as a nurse at a hospital. Would you have tried to catch her there or more privately?
Were you there, Hope, when we decided to or when we when we were discussing like what the plan was originally?
Yes, I thought so.
Okay,
but I don't know if you decided to.
Then I feel like as we left, I would have been like, hey, because I mentioned I can jump into someone's body, but it's, not great for them. So I feel like I would have caught her before we even left.
So that'll be the night of the last game where everybody had been drinking and partying a bit at Abraham's. Rebecca would have been finally coming down from her hive mushrooms. And as everybody, all the kindred were leaving for their respective havens as the sun was coming up, Abraham would be left alone with Rebecca for a moment to speak with her.
Rebecca went home with Luther and Dinah.
Yeah, so as they're leaving,
Yeah,
Abraham
as you're
wanted to
leaving, I
catch
would
you.
have caught you because we discussed the hinkiness of possession, but like, hey, real quick, just a thing to think about.
Just
If that's oh no, right, you were going to possibly do like, right, so I would have had to catch you in the next day
Fair enough.
because you were doing cultist of ecstasy things, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I would have caught her the next day. I probably would have texted her and said, when are you available to talk about something? Something less than desirable to talk about.
Yeah, no, like she'll meet up whenever you have time. I don't know if you want to back like off-screen this or on-screen this.
Well, because it's a very uncomfortable conversation, which means that it probably should be on screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will meet. I guess after work is a good time for you, or
Yeah.
then I will meet with you.
She'll just go to your place. Like,
All right, cool, that works. So after inviting you in, sitting you down, having you sit down, getting you the beginnings of food and drink that I have probably started keeping in my place because you've been showing up more recently. So I have a question that is about the night of the boat.
Okay.
Boat party.
Okay.
As I have said, I can join you on the boat but in order to do this, I will have to do something that is something I have only done once before. Is not something that I like to do because it messes with the head of an innocent person. Well, not necessarily innocent, but I as I have said, can
What are you
jump
asking?
into the I can possess if I try to, and I was wondering if you would know how I might find a coma patient so that I could try it on someone who isn't in their own head. Hopefully to not hurt anyone is the intent.
Okay.
And if this is too much, I understand. I simply thought it would be
Well,
better.
Okay, just real quick, just letting you know, that was a bit of a whirlwind just now. Because I thought you were gonna ask if you could possess me.
No. It is something that I do not like doing.
It took a delightful turn into not you, but a coma patient, which still a little upsetting. Still kind of upsetting.
I understand that. That is. This is not something that I like doing. I have done it once before and I regretted it for years. I am trying to find a more acceptable way to do it so that I do not hurt someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I work at a hospital, so that would be where the coma patients are. Let's go find ourselves a coma patient.
Yeah, he does not look. He looks about like you sound.
Okay.
Like, he does not look happy about this at all.
Well, I'm glad, because she's not either. Like, yeah. Sure. We can do that. I'll get you in the hospital, and I'll try to figure out. Can you have him back by a reasonable hour, or?
This, in theory, would be for the night of the boat party, so I would have them back whenever all of that was done.
What happens to you? Do I have to
I would.
stash you?
Yes, I would have to. I would not be in my body. It would still be susceptible to all of the things I usually am. So, sunlight and stakes.
Okay. Sorry. So now I'm just thinking about the logistics of this, and you want a coma patient, and do you have to be there? Like, do I stick you in a broom closet? I don't know how to. That's.
I agree.
That's yeah. I thank you for agreeing. You haven't given me any advice though, which is what I'm asking.
That is. I suppose. I think the first step is to see if it can be done without. If this does not work, if there has to be a presence in order for any of this to work, then that is something different. I just want to see if it might work, and if it does, then I can hopefully have a week or so to prepare logistics. So if I did this tonight or soon, it would be a quick in, see if it works, and I leave.
You want to test drive?
Well, I don't want to wait until the night of.
But
I would not leave the room. I would.
Yeah, no, that's it makes sense from like an objective, not that standpoint. Sure.
I would. It would.
Does tomorrow work for you?
Yes, that is fine. I am sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm sure that you were just as upset when you were running this around in your head. So just let me catch up, and I'll be good.
Yes, tomorrow will be fine. If this does work, I think I will try and handle the logistics. Pull in a few favors. Probably see if I cannot have them transferred to a private research facility to help with their condition. I'm sure whoever is taking care of them, I will make sure they are compensated, and I will make sure nothing happens to this person. But I am just trying to save lives.
No, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And I'm sure the family would appreciate. And I mean, as long as we both understand that, like, throwing money at the problem isn't how you
yes.
I trust you. I trust you. And I'm sorry for coming off as really uncomfortable.
I understand. I am also very uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, so are you looking for a type? Maybe I can screen for you what kind of person?
Preferably someone who is... I know there are different types of coma, and preferably someone who is guaranteed to not be trapped in their head. Someone who is...
persistent vegetative state?
Yes, that sounds, I guess... Because I have read of people who are conscious but not capable of moving, and I would prefer to not have to push into that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will see you sometime.
Yes.
In the future. Yeah, just meet me at work tomorrow.
Yes. I will see you there. Thank you.
She'll give him like at first she'll kind of like pat his arm, and then she'll feel bad and she'll give him a hug. And she'll kind of feel bad about that. She'll pat his arm again.
Yeah, he'll respond exactly like you would expect, just kind of following the motions.
All right. So Rebecca, for sure, the next time you go into work, you do find, a man in about like early 30s. And just looking at his chart, you can tell he's kind of like a middle class guy all around. You know, probably has wife, kids, suburban house, little non-distinct, and it definitely has been in a vegetative state. His, checking his signals and everything, it doesn't seem like anything's going on. He's practically on life support, but otherwise functional.
Okay.
And then also, Abraham, you do know that the prince has ghouls at the hospital. It's only whether you want to keep this a wrapped up secret or if you would want to get some aid in that direction as well.
No, the prince's competence is still up for question, but the prince's motivations are at this point not, so I would probably want to include him.
Okay.
And let him know what the intent is here.
So in that case, Rebecca, when you go into the hospital and do your little bit of scouting, one patient aide that you've seen around, you've worked with, maybe not that close with, but he comes up to you very quietly at the nurse's station and just kind of makes it clear he knows the situation with you and Abraham.
Okay.
Marcel asked me to help out, particularly with the second half of the procedure, where your friend needs a place to stay for the night.
Oh. Yeah, can I get your name?
You look down at his name tag and it says Derek.
Okay.
And he says it's Vincent.
What?
Yeah, but you asked, so Vincent.
So she will hold a finger up to him, text Abraham to verify that this person is who they say they are, and the text
which I will respond. Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's like we can just make it generic.
Yeah. Wait, and I'll respond. There are ghouls in the hospital as well.
She's gonna take a picture of him and then send just for verification.
Then for verification, I will send a picture to Marcel and be like, "Hey, this is one of yours, right?"
He did tell you a couple names, and Derek does come up. The picture you received from Rebecca has a face kind of like, huh? But after a moment, Marcel texts back, "Yes, that's Derek. He's one of mine."
Then I will send it back and in this telephone game, and yes, Marcel has confirmed that's one of his.
Yeah, she'll send back 5 hearts and then look back to Derek. Okay, yeah, no, if you can help me with that part of the procedure, that would be optimum.
He nods and says, "Just let me know which patient room it is. I'll make sure we have a gurney available."
Yeah, I'll keep you in touch. Do you have a pager?
Yeah, of course. And he gives you his number.
Oh, right, because a lot of
they're doctors. She's not being out of date.
Nope.
Yeah, no. I forgot that civilian hospitals still use pagers.
Don't be that way. Okay, yeah, then she'll have the appropriate coma patient ready and keep Derek in the loop.
All right, Abraham, you arrive at the hospital, hobbling down the long hallways, and you meet Rebecca.
Probably looking nicer than usual. I'm probably shaved and wearing a nice suit, fancy cane and not the Walgreens collapsible thing.
So you hobble your way through the long hospital hallways and up an elevator, and you finally meet Rebecca in a patient room that has a single patient. You can see all of the tubes and wires and IV and everything plugged into him, and just the soft beeping from the monitors that show that the guy is in good health, but definitely not responsive.
All right, cool. Then I will try and possess him. I'll take a seat and kind of sit next to him as though I am somebody who cares about him.
Rebecca's
so that
not. Like,
yeah.
I want this known.
Cool.
And Rebecca, I'll assume you text or page Derek at this point. And as this continues, you can hear a gurney like being wheeled further down the hallway.
Okay.
So possession is
Okay. Vampire must completely strip away the target's willpower prior to possessing her. Player spends a willpower point, then rolls charisma intimidation, while the subject rolls a resisted action. For each success the vampire obtains over the victim's total, they lose that much of temporary willpower. Once they hit 0, the possession takes effect, and how many successes I get shows how good of a like what I can do while I'm possessing.
all right.
Or okay, no, there we go. So when I'm done stripping, then I roll manipulation intimidation to determine how fully I control the shell. So in theory, if this is doable, I would roll 1 charisma intimidation, and I would find that the mind is already open. Hopefully, is the hope here.
All right. Let me get
It would also help if I opened up roll 20.
May.
You're with it. You're hip.
I mean, I have it open before the storyteller asked for a roll, so
and
Shit, you haven't seen Austin Powers, have you?
as a note,
Not.
the patient's name is Peter Hallow. All right, one sec. All right, so Zvani, I am going to need 3 rolls.
Three charisma intimidation. Are you?
Oh, no. Yeah, your charisma intimidation at difficulty 7 3 times.
Okay, so first one is 2 successes. First one is lots of successes. 5, 6. Okay, so that is 2 successes, 6 successes, 3 successes.
All right. You are going at a not brain dead but unresponsive coma patient, so you do very well against his limited 3 willpower. Go ahead and give me some fluff.
So I will so I will take his hand because don't have to look in his eyes. I will take his hand and I will just kind of like lean over him like I care about him, like he's someone that I am sad is in a coma. And I will mentally, just kind of reach into his soul and start pushing. And for a second, like, I'll actually sit back a little bit surprised, which is something that, Rebecca would probably notice as a little bit of surprise at first. I'll sigh, I'll push, and it is... Yeah, I don't think it would be particularly visible, particularly a thing that Rebecca could see, sans magic. And then,
So
go ahead.
she's like deliberately trying to notice things with this, like if if in another situation this would not be the case, but she was like trying to study what's going on. Can I roll like a perception aware?
Yes, you can. Let me see. Yeah, we'll go with awareness. I wanted to look at your knowledges, but since you're observing from the outside something you don't actually know about, awareness will work.
Okay. That's a botch. Like, what the hell? What the hell?
So Rebecca, you're trying to focus on what's going on, your understanding of the metaphysical and all of that, and just trying to assume what you're seeing, his reactions and all of that, but it starts to make you a little paranoid, especially with like how worried he was about pushing people out and what it actually means for him to go into this body. And you do start to have some anxiety that Abraham, the previous body, might not be his anymore. Like, this might be an actual full Freaky Friday thing, and you don't know if it can get switched back. You're just standing there getting antsy. Derek is in the room with the door closed and a gurney nearby. He does notice this, but doesn't say anything to you. So you are left with Abraham's body slowly slumping over on the bed as if going to sleep or dying. And the other body starts to have a little more movement in the arms.
Yeah, she's gonna rush over to Abraham.
So I feel like
Abraham body, Abraham.
I feel like what happens is Abraham's body will slump over, and then what's this guy's name?
Peter.
Howard. Like I will, like Peter's eyes will open up. He'll kind of do this number, freaking out about the tube in his throat, and then will immediately go unconscious again because Abraham's like, oh God, I didn't really think about that.
Right. Well, also, I want to say that, like, maybe Rebecca just realized that, like, if the soul leaves, he's already a corpse. So, like, she's going to rush over and, like, check his vitals and then fail at that because there aren't. And, like, just start freaking out a little bit because, like, what if he can't go back? Like, that just, none of that sounds good.
As a note, I could have used thaumaturgy. There was nothing, like, I could have used thaumaturgy, dominate, presence, aspects, all of that in that possession because I did really well on that roll.
Well, just stay in it.
So,
just stay in the body. Like, just stay in
for
until...
a week.
Yeah.
That's
he could use the exercise.
Crazy difficult. Oh. That's crazy difficult. The moment the sun comes up, I have to start making fear checks. And if I fail once, I get pushed out of the body.
Well,
so that's fun.
So Derek, leaning against the gurney he brought into the room, looks a little confused. Did that go to plan?
So Abraham will get up. Oh, that was unpleasant. I did not.
Wait, does he come with the accent? Obviously. Yeah.
I don't. To an extent. So Abraham is capable. I'm actually not sure. Abraham is capable of turning off the accent, but muscle memory has made it so that he always does the
Right,
accent.
but
Would
this
I
guy
follow
doesn't have the
Peter's
muscle memory.
or Abraham? Would I follow Peter's muscle memory or Abraham's muscle memory?
It would probably fall somewhere in between where you would be moving your mouth and tongue the way that it would be for Abraham, but with a different body, so it's gonna maybe sound like Peter's trying to do your accent.
Can you go somewhere between like a Nigerian and like an Indiana accent, please? Like, I feel like that really is the only place where this could end well.
Blending accents is that's a difficult prospect.
Yeah.
It's what the people want.
Well, so that night I open my eyes, claw at the thing down my throat, and then immediately leave because that was very uncomfortable. That was basically
you went back into Abraham.
Yeah, that was basically and then I immediately go because I forgot about the intubation, which is not something that any person ever wants to deal with while they're conscious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go back, you're waking up to like Rebecca is like opening her eyes for pupil dilation because she doesn't know.
No. I feel like he'd have Pearl. Like I feel like he'd have pupillary responses.
Right, like she doesn't know those. Like first it was like maybe I do chest compressions. She's like, shit, that's not gonna do anything. So
he wouldn't have a pulse, but he'd have pupillary response.
Well, that's why. So that's what I'm saying. By the time you get back, that's what like is her face.
You might still want that cane. You'll probably be a little weak. Rebecca did think about that. She didn't pick someone who'd been, in bed so long that their legs
for 30
atrophied.
years.
But certainly someone who's maybe been there a little while might feel a little weak actually on their feet.
Yeah. So this is so basically he goes in, freaks out at the tube down his throat, and then leaves. And tonight was basically a proof of concept. He can get in. It is doable, and it's not gonna screw someone up super bad. So he feels better about that.
Before you leave, he does explain to you and Rebecca in slightly clearer words that he's going to take you to the mortuary or to the morgue, and of course stash you, privately so that there's no mix-up of some, students coming in and going, oh, is this the one? So...
I was actually thinking, because I'm not sure how late this guy's going to be out. I was kind of hoping, and I might talk with Marcel about this, about having this guy transferred for a night to somewhere else so that I could, privately, just do that in a more private location that's not a hospital, hopefully.
Derek nods along and says that's actually a great idea. He'll speak with Marcel directly. He's sure Marcel would be able to get everything set up at his house.
All right.
I was going to say, did they ask to use Theo's morgue? Because that is my domain. Like, that's all me.
Hospital morgue, a little different.
They're mine too. We talked about this.
Oh, that's right.
All morgues are mine.
Fair enough.
6 points.
I want a morgue.
Marcel would have checked with you.
I have a timeshare proposition for you.
6 days out of the year.
For only $1,700 a month.
All right, so for the rest of the gang, yep, you're all good over the next week to get your fill of blood, however you normally do it. Obviously, Dinah and Luther, you tend to be more the socialites, going to a club, or Dinah, you also have your herd, so you might have called up Heather, gotten a little drink from her. Theo, you've got all your strange ways of getting blood. Rebecca, you definitely have your chance to go and collect some more quintessence from your node. You get Tuna her armor, and at your sanctuary in the abandoned yoga practice studio called Namaste Today, go ahead and give me the roll to see how well... Would you bring someone along to check, since you would want someone who could maybe check the way the others would?
To check?
Well, and again, this doesn't have to be at your sanctuary then, but I was going to suggest perhaps you'd want someone with Auspex to look.
To look?
See what your aura looks like.
Oh, yes.
From a kindred's perspective.
After node off at.
You done gone Terminator.
A little bit.
Oh,
And say something.
can you hear me?
That's all better.
Okay,
we go.
cool.
So-
Shit, she's gonna send a group text, and it's gonna say who has mage vision.
Dinah definitely does.
What do you mean by mage vision?
Like, you can see shit.
I do.
I as well.
Yeah, then she'll go to Dinah.
Theo,
Cool.
if that was
Yeah,
in the group
she'll-
chat, Theo would have texted, "I see dead people."
Oh,
She's gonna.
Bless.
Abraham is
Dinah will
gonna.
give a lol. She'll
Abraham-
gain a lol.
Abraham is gonna completely miss the joke. Yes, we know? Question mark.
So if Abraham says that, Rebecca's gonna be like, but for real though?
Dinah's just gonna post the gif of that kid, like, as response.
Perfect. All right, so Rebecca and Dinah, you meet up, perhaps at Dinah's place, since I know, Rebecca, you feel more territorial about doing certain things in certain places.
Yes.
So
Wait, where are we meeting him?
I was gonna say Dinah's place. Dinah, can you explain it again? It's been a little while since we popped by your place.
My apartment or my office?
Your apartment, I think. I think Rebecca would be more comfortable there. Less work environment.
I think I only described my office before. Dinah's apartment is nice but small. She doesn't really. You get the impression that she just doesn't need that much space. She keeps most of her shit and her instruments and all that at her office, which you've seen before. It's like a kitchen that doesn't have anything in it, basically, and
A familiar sight at this point for Rebecca.
yeah. It's off to the side. It's kind of one of those older brick buildings. She really likes feeling more at home, so she tried on purpose to get an older apartment, and the floor creaks, and it's that old dark wood flooring. And she has kind of grandma couches. They've been reupholstered because they're old couches from the 30s, 20s, and she's just kept them restuffed and reupholstered.
Okay, so scale of 1 out of 10. If Rebecca were to sit in one, how much would she really get into the seat? Because it's just
it's pretty. Some of them are pretty firm, and some of them are real soft. Sink right in there.
Yeah, so she's gonna sit down on one of the firm ones, and then kind of
She does have a new TV.
Stand.
Dinah does have a nice new flat screen. A lot of the electronics are newer, but the furniture is old.
yeah. So she'll sit in a firmer one, and then stand, and then sit in one of the way soft ones, and just look at her. Do you like Goldilocks?
I like old things.
Okay, but where's the just right couch?
That's that chair over there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll.
Dinah has one of those lounge couches. You know what I'm talking about? The fainting.
Yeah, one of the.
She has one of
It's
those.
just got the one side and then just seat.
She goes, look, this is one of my favorite ones. And she sits down all sultry and crosses her legs way over dramatically. See, that's why I have this one.
Can you do it again, but slower?
I mean, if you want me to.
You're not supposed to answer seriously.
What did you need, honey?
I'm gonna turn on disguise powers, and you're gonna tell me if it works.
Okay.
So I want to say Aura Shield is just mind 1. However, if you want it to be more complex, mind 2 maybe. I don't know. That's your call.
I think because you're walking up to creatures that are sensitive to things like this, compared to just a human, I'd go with 2.
DC 5.
Yep.
Four successes.
All right, let me roll. I have 9 dice for this now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but your difficulty.
It's difficulty 8.
Yeah. Well, I do 7, so it is 8 at this point.
Oh, like it raised the difficulty?
Oh, no. It's 7, but you're gonna have to get the same
As
amount of
many successes
Yeah.
or more. I have to beat her successes, I think.
Yes.
So it's still 7, but okay. Hold on. The 1 cancels. So that's
One more
1,
10.
2, 3, 4. Almost.
Jesus Christ!
Whoops, hold on. Well, I guess that counts. Nope, I do not
All right.
beat you.
All right, so Dinah, you focus your Auspex power while looking at Rebecca, and
I feel like I got a good read and I can't see anything too.
yeah,
Right?
you
Well,
totally
can,
see an
it's
aura.
supposed to be fake.
Yeah, you see an aura. You see some color. Something about it's like a little muddled. Almost like maybe sometimes when you look at ghouls, because they have that vampire blood in them, but they're also still human. It's just like their aura becomes a little funny looking. So to you, it almost looks like she might pass for a ghoul, maybe a human. You can also you realize you're good at Auspex.
Well, congratulations, you've confused me.
She'll stand and give Dinah a big old peck on the cheek. Well, I'll take my victory and I'll see you at the boathouse.
All right then. Will you though? I'll be waiting in the wings. I've been told I
Wait,
should.
you're not.
Well, how many dots in Auspex do you have?
5. No,
You could,
that's wrong.
4.
I have 4.
if you spent that extra experience on
If
Auspex
I put it in 6
you-
presents.
you could join us.
Oh, at 5, can you mask an aura?
No, at 5 you can leave your body. You can actually project.
Oh shit! I should have done that.
Yeah.
I was debating.
Yeah, at 5 you can astrally project, which means if you roll particularly well, you can
Do it.
actually
Yes,
use.
she's not watching. She's not here. Just do it.
I technically haven't rolled it yet. Can I change that?
Yeah, no, I told you guys at the beginning you had 30.
I super didn't go and look up what each of the disciplines that I had the next was.
5 dots in Auspex you can
Except
astrally
presence.
project.
Okay,
So
let
you
me
wouldn't
let me-
physically be there, but you'd mentally be there.
I
I'ma
will
take
even
that out
I will
first.
even say that story-wise it's good because you've been using your Auspex a lot over the last month with all this investigation.
I've also been using presents, but yeah.
And you've also been checking out a couple new things. Like you've seen mage auras now, and not that you're sure about it, but you saw a werewolf aura.
Okay, so I can take that 6 dot and just make it that 5 dot. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
I just have a little extra left over.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Okay, let me. Okay, all right, yeah. So I'm gonna do that then. Let me look up the actual rules on that.
Surprisingly similar to the rules on possession, except you're not mind raping someone.
Psychic projection. Okay,
Except
I
it's
step out of my
mental
body.
employment.
I just kind of flop over and follow you guys. Except that I can't get back in quickly.
I mean, well, you can't.
It says attempting to return to the vampire's physical shell is a long and terrifying ordeal. I have to have a point of willpower, make a perception occult roll. Oh shit, do I have any? Oh, I do have a cult! I did put some in there. I was like this, I didn't min-max, but there's a couple that I gave myself 0 in so that I wouldn't be good at everything because it makes no sense. Greater number of successes rolled, the more focused the character's astral presence is. Oh, so I only need to just succeed. And I do it. If I fail, it means I can't separate it. A botch means I can end up randomly somewhere else.
Well, that's why you spend willpower to make sure you don't botch.
Yes. You have to spend a willpower anyway.
Come on, we
Spend a
all
second
watch
one.
Legend of Korra. We know how this works.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, so it's like a silver cord that connects you, it says, and someone who's good at spirits things can cut it and then you're stuck. Like, that's the catch.
Fair enough.
Can I do any?
If you roll...
Oh, I
actually
can
use-
do presence while in astral form, it says, as storyteller description, but I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it requires at least 3 successes to do anything.
Hey, real quick, storyteller.
Yeah.
I know we talked about being better at this. We kind of haven't. What are our willpower regeneration rules for this game? Considering we're changing things up from New York, where we were notoriously bad, and I was just reading over my abilities, and I'm about to need some willpower regeneration. Because we about to do some real shit.
Do we get it back on the daily? Is that?
So that's old school vampire, apparently not new school. It's anything that's... Anyway, whatever she decides.
Yeah,
so
whatever you decide, I'll do whatever you say. It's no big deal.
one of the old rules was like they have to like do a specific thing that shows off their nature and demeanor, but to me that means you role played correctly. So yeah, I say on the daily.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, and I can go anywhere, including underground. I'm basically just a ghost as long as I remain wherever it's still nighttime. Neat. All right. And basically how well I roll determines how focused and far I can go.
So, over the next week, Dinah, starts playing around with pushing her mental abilities with her aspects and finds she can start to kind of move outside herself and see things that are beyond just where she is.
Please let this have triggered off to the mushroom trip.
Yes, that is exactly what happened.
Yes! Yes, it makes too much sense!
You had a night,
I love it.
you had a night at the club, and you were using your usual psychic abilities with your aspects, and something just kind of made your mind trip back toward that night and the way that sky looked and how you felt like outside yourself and in a much broader sense of the world around you. And suddenly it felt like you were watching the club from somewhere else, and you even saw your body a moment later kind of slumped a little more tired against the seat, and you realize you've pushed yourself even further than you ever have before, and spent the rest of the week maybe somewhat obsessively practicing this and trying it out more and more. For the rest of the group, Luther, unfortunately, you aren't able to actually dig up anybody that seems a clear enough line of contact. It's just, you find players who are willing to, like, bet crazy things, and maybe even there's, like, one absolute weirdo who's, like, into, like, Saw and Hostile stuff. Like, if you, like, would you rather, like, kind of, if you lose, something terrible happens, you're like, I'm not even going to that party. Abe, you feel pretty confident with the coma patient situation, even if it's uncomfortable. So you know that that's going to be your trick for that evening, and Marcel does get back to you explaining that, yes, he can have all of the hospital equipment set up at his house in a private room, that both bodies, your body can remain and the other can walk freely without any concern. And last but not least, Theo, you get a Kodak picture in the mail of the Baron hugging his body pillow and smoking a cigar.
Oh, I only love it. I only love it.
Sorry, he was reading something, so I'm gonna repeat it because why not? Theo, at the end, near the end of the week, you get a Kodak picture in the mail, like an actual proper Polaroid of the Baron sitting with his anime pillow and smoking a cigar.
I fucking know what people like. Y'all thought I was crazy.
I love that Baron Samedi is actually a weeb. I love it so much.
Hey,
You hear that, All Darkness Riders? This is the new canon.
Most Ninja of Toads has a really important question. Which anime character was on the pillow?
That's true.
Oh,
now we got it.
Was
I can give you
Tuxedo
an
Mask.
answer. I
It's
can
a
give you an
booby.
answer if you want, but I don't know if you want me to answer.
I've never wanted anything more in my entire life.
1 second.
I was just gonna say Tuxedo Mask.
Oh my god, yeah!
So for Theo specifically, he probably would have went with something classy and old school like Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
He's not exactly up. Theo's not really up to date with modern. He doesn't have a Crunchyroll subscription. That's all I'm
Which of
saying.
the Sailor Scouts, though?
Now you're pushing the
Obviously
Sailor Moon.
Uranus, because Theo would think that someone named Uranus.
Yeah, but like she's a lesbian. I feel like this is crossing into a line.
I don't know. I feel like that's getting far too deep in the Sailor Moon lore for Theo to know anything about it.
No,
She
he
was
would
like,
just be like,
Uranus.
I'm gonna sign up Uranus. Which jokes on
There, I
him, she's
posted it in chat. Google it on your own terms.
How pretty much not safe for work are we talking?
It's
The words pretty much make me feel like I could be pretty safe from this.
so like technically it's not hentai. Technically,
technically.
it
I
is.
like tech.
In reality,
It's better known as ecchi, which is basically softcore porn. Don't ask why I know these things. Anyway, so
Spira, why do you know these things?
because I drink and know things.
Good answer.
Some weird shit pops up if you Google it.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. Actually, CS that's perfect. It's Ninja Tits Highlander. So anyway. All right. So over the next week, everybody is doing a bit of prep, making sure they're full up on their blood. They have themselves somewhat mentally prepped about what's going on. And then, God damn it, chat. Within 48 hours of the date when the riverboat is supposed to arrive on the Mississippi, Marcel calls all of you to his mansion to discuss some final terms, some details, and just let you all know as much as he is, everything he has ready in the works. So let's just fast forward zippity zip because we've done the whole pull up to his mansion and the butler situation and arriving quietly into his back parlor where he likes to hold his private councils. The 5 of you arrive, and you also see there Christopher and Anthony, 2 of his close companions, both Ventrue. As well as Jake the Bruja, everybody knows our lovely Jake, and Roxy the Gangrel, that Rebecca you have probably never seen before. Luther and Abraham, you might have seen her around, but don't know her that well. Dinah, you've probably at least seen her at clubs, and Theo, you know her a bit better because of your relationship with some of the Gangrel. Otherwise, it is only Marcel, standing not too close to the fire, but kind of in front of it with his hands behind his back in a dramatic fashion.
Theo will walk in, look at Marcel, and literally do the teenage girl thing like, ah!
Abraham will just kind of like glance over at him and shake his head, like a little bit of a this fuckwit.
Rebecca's gonna whisper, "I love you."
Luther would go shake his hand and do his normal greeting thing with him.
Marcel ignores the more joking reactions, just kind of stiff upper lip, and then shakes Luther's hand. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
How are things treating you, Marcel?
Well enough. Then he starts rubbing his forehead. A bit nervous, of course, for the upcoming evening, but I think we're in good shape.
How good a shape are we talking here?
He almost looks like he's about to respond, but then waves to the seats around the room. There's even more in here than the last time you were here, as he expected a larger crowd, and he sits himself in a single armchair. There are, of course, different chairs and a couple benches. Once everyone sits, although Roxy and Jake stay folded-armed against the wall, he nods around the room. Well, this is at least a good portion of our party here. I believe most of you know, and he points and explains, Christopher, Anthony, two of my closest kindred in New Orleans, as well as Jake and Roxy have both agreed to accompany all of you, take point. And additionally, he gives a slight nod at Roxy. I have 3 more gangrel joining the party. They will be flanking the riverboat, particularly while it's docked, and can follow if the boat moves.
Will there be a specific way to alert them if we need them?
Roxy kind of points 2 fingers up in the air and says, I'm a pretty good swimmer. I'll make sure they get any message we need, but at least one of them should be following in the air.
All right. But just a predetermined signal would not be useless in case you are incapacitated or something comes up and we are uncertain as to if we need assistance. I think the word is safe word is a good choice. I think he totally learned the word safe word from Theo and is using it slightly the wrong context.
Roxy kind of chuckles, shrugs a little bit, and then nods. How many of you think you might actually be on the boat? I don't know if it's moving, but we gotta have an idea if you, it's not much use just hanging on the shore if everyone else is on a boat that's heading out.
Rebecca and myself, I believe, are going to be on the boat for sure. I will look at Rebecca.
I can be with them in spirit, so to speak, actually literally. So
What?
I can serve as some kind of messenger. If something goes wrong, it'll be almost instantaneous. But I wouldn't be able to intervene much. I'm kind of new at this.
Are you talking about you're not talking about astral travel, are you?
Yeah.
Oh my. What?
Abraham will look at her a little surprised.
She's at the edge of her seat, just shifting, she's really excited about this.
Marcel puts up a very commanding hold the conversation till later hand.
She will glare at him.
Roxy chuckles again and then says, alright, fair enough, but so I'm the contact for our gangrel friends. What kind of signal do you think you got going on in your mind?
Something visual, I would think. Just a hand gesture of some kind.
You could also say something. I'll be able to hear it. I'll try to stay right next to you.
I think backups and I can't think of the word, but backups would be good to have a visual and a verbal.
All right, let's make sure it's something clear though. So how about a front of the neck scratch? Just a little something that's in front of you whenever you're facing away from the boat. And as far as verbal goes, how about something about the temperate weather? No one really talks about weather that much.
Especially kindred.
Exactly. Not too strange, but clear enough.
I would say for the visual, a neck scratch followed by a nod of the head, because I will not be in this body, and I do remember how much the living body can itch. So a scratch and then a nod.
Fair enough. Sounds like a good idea. I'll let them know to keep an eye out for it.
And then, well, some of us aren't going to be on the houseboat. Where are we going to be?
Well, that's the question, because I won't be able to move while I'm doing this, and I don't think you either.
Might not be a bad idea. When we do this, I will prep at the very beginning of the night, and we'll meet up with you in Philip's body. But I think perhaps if we get the rest of you on a speedboat, ready to approach if necessary, that might not be the worst choice.
Marcel leans forward in his chair and steeples his fingers together, nodding. Yes, of course. I already had some of my ghouls scout the area as clandestine as possible. It looked like there were already some people keeping an eye on the local dock. But it does seem that the area this is riverboat is supposed to show up. It's a smaller boat, I think, so it sounds like it will probably keep close to the coastline. There's a absolute full line of trees. That is, again, one of the reasons we have one of our gangrel friends keeping breath of wings to just stay out of sight but keep an eye out. So, those of you that don't believe you'll be able to get on the boat without being noticed, you could keep to the shoreline, and absolutely I could have a boat ready in the wings.
Luther will kind of look around. I know I'm not going on there. Am I the only one?
Unless Theo can do Theo things and convince people that he is not Theo but a different Semedi. Or perhaps a Nosferatu. You always hate when they use your reputation. Perhaps it is time to use it the other direction.
Theo?
Because no one has ever looked through a mask on a boat full of kindred. You know, I can always see through your mask, yes?
Well,
Mask plus Thanatosis.
So make yourself look like a different Semedi or perhaps a Nosferatu.
Luther, are you as good at driving a boat as you were driving a car? Because we need somebody to drive the boat.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out.
You have so much in drive, and Luther being Luther in New Orleans, hanging out with poker people, you absolutely know how to drive a boat.
There's no way he's never won a boat before. Absolutely no.
I've been swamp boating a little bit here and there since I've been in New Orleans.
Because we may need an escape boat and fast. And I think you'd be a good candidate for that.
Hey, if it has a steering wheel and an engine, I can get it going.
I knew you could do it.
And this is not relevant out of curiosity. What if it has a yoke? Have you ever flown a plane before, or a helicopter?
Can we roll
Yeah.
on that? Maybe he
There are
has.
very different things. Fixed wing and rotary. No.
Abraham doesn't know that. He's just curious if Luther can fly a vehicle specifically.
No, not that. But he would try.
I'll try.
So
Now
how
that
did-
you bring it up, he's gonna think about that now, and he's gonna start going.
I just want a montage of Luther doing like pilot's lessons.
Really badass music of him just like sitting in classes and taking notes.
I just
Just with an energy drink.
Like-
because
right and like no and just him looking at dials and like pointing to an instructor and then the instructor gives a thumbs up and then he's like excited because he got the dial
like
right.
he's got to have an energy drink because despite the fact that he can't drink an energy drink, I think that is the perfect icon of I'm struggling in class.
Yeah. Really, I think a gallon of water also
Yeah,
does
works
it.
Hey, real quick though, how easy is it to see through a well-done mask?
I'm pretty sure it's if they have auspex higher than you, then because like they don't really go. Like I know if they have higher auspex, that's what makes it a possibility, but they never really bring up what actually makes it happen.
I think it's supposed to be that if you have the higher auspex, so then your difficulty would be lower seeing through a mask. So if you say perception awareness and you have high auspex, I'd probably lower your difficulty. Additionally, if perhaps you rolled perception awareness and your successes were higher than the person's mask, like if they got 1 dot of mask, I'd probably lean toward that person seeing through it. There's a couple different ones, and again, like I kind of always skirt between additions with what I think makes the best sense. So, you know.
What was the idea of the last training round? Because sorry, I'm just confused myself. I thought the last plan was to try to have Theo go on the boat, but now this is a horrifically bad idea.
Well, no. So I think the idea was if you can convince other people through Thanatosis that you are a Semeti that is in New Orleans but is not Theo, or
Yes.
if you can make yourself ugly enough to look like a Nosferatu and use their reputation like they often use yours to fuck with them.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not sure which.
I don't think we chose. I think that was just the
But
brainstorm.
I think that was the idea, is if you can make yourself look like any Nosferatu or Semeti that is not Theo, that's good enough.
If you want to roll, I can give you a suggestion.
Sure. What do you need?
Wits and Streetwise. You got a couple dots for that.
Difficulty?
6.
While he's rolling that and people are bringing up Rocky, I just want to bring to everyone's attention that in Rocky 2, he almost exclusively gets punched in the face. He basically never gets punched anywhere other than the face, and upwards of like 100 times.
Now, Theo, while you know that the Baron isn't any kind of fan or user of Diablerie, you know well enough that he is seen in some dark and seedy places if he's bored and interested.
Well, unfortunately, Theo can't impersonate the Baron. So there's a Semeti myth that those who impersonate the Baron pay a toll for impersonating the Baron. They can no longer speak with the dead or be connected to the dead or use necromancy or anything like that. Truth or not, Theo's a superstitious person. He can't impersonate the Baron.
You got so many successes. I will add on that you don't know if any of these people have seen the Baron.
So a Baron.
Or just show up and look important and let people assume that you're the Baron and never correct them.
A Samedi wearing, skull makeup.
Oh, there's like a whole chapter on this.
Yeah, but it's kind of towing the line, so
Impersonating the Baron's super naughty. Well, it's actually not naughty at all. It's all myth anyway. No, fine, he'll go as the Baron.
I'm saying, but like you would think like I could just be any Samedi, and if I don't say anything and just act important like Abraham said. Anyway, yes, so that's where all of your minds are at the moment. Roxy has explained about the gangrel that will be on board along the shore. Luther is now basically enlisted with a nice water version of a hot rod from Marcel. Dinah's looking to do a little astral projection. Rebecca is going to hide one way or another as someone heading onto the boat with Abraham. And, alright, let me see what else I needed to cover.
Are we meeting up like a staging ground beforehand? Did we decide on that?
Marcel explains, as he had his scouts go to the area, that it looks like it's a very marshy, wooded patch of land that if you follow a trail just barely wide enough for a car, it leads to a sloppy, man-made patch of land that looks like a parking lot, basically. There's just been a bit of extra gravel thrown around. And that also has a path that leads down the muddy banks toward a small dock. But since he was told where the riverboat was supposed to show up, they're pretty much sure this is it. So the idea he is imagining is that these cars will show up with people, and they'll all, head to the riverboat there. So he gives you the visual explanation of the place. And then also, like, kind of pulls out a map. It's way too small, but he does his best to, like, show you where on the river it is and mark some areas that look like they would be able to see the river clearly from the woods, but be far enough from this parking area that you wouldn't be seen if you were worried about that. Roxy at one point snorts and just kind of shakes her head and is like, if you're no good at stealth.
Did we establish a staging ground, like where our group meets before we go to do this?
Nope. Marcel and the rest in the room did clarify that they're going to be kind of in the trees watching as best they can, and only going to make any moves if it seems appropriate. Try to get as close to the boat as they can. At one point, Christopher, let me get his picture up. Christopher, one of Marcel's childer, pulls out a small but very expensive looking digital camera and kind of waves it in the air a little bit. Any of you good with these things?
Look at Rebecca.
What?
Okay. So this is we've moved to the night of.
No. About
Okay.
48 hours. This is still the
Okay,
discussion
still the
at
48
Marcel's.
hours.
Yeah.
Theo just look at it. I mean, I can get it in.
So,
I don't know about taking pictures though.
There is a button on the top. You press that, it makes the picture go, I think.
Christopher tosses the
It
one.
makes it go?
Christopher, okay, actually looks like he's about to toss it to Theo, but then looks at Rebecca and tosses it her way.
She makes it like I'm sure it's a good catch. She just makes a big deal about, like, have you ever caught something but you put a lot of effort into it, like you pretend like it's a hard catch? She does that.
I don't know about this specific party, but the last naked sex dungeon party I went to, they were all like, no flash photography, and we take our privacy seriously. So, How about I get it in and I give it to you there?
I mean, I don't know. I could pull like a ghoul reporter angle.
I do not think they would like a ghoul reporter.
No, but like not actually reporter, but like like someone's assistant.
I
I feel
highly
like
doubt.
that's
I doubt they allow cell phones. Much less dedicated old school.
okay. Well, then I'll pull it
digital
out of
cameras.
the pocket dimension. We'll fucking make it work, okay?
That
You didn't fucking say that. I was just gonna pull that out of my pocket.
Yeah, I was you a little surprised. That is easier than. And I'll just kind of point at Theo.
Well, I mean, if you want to tuck it in your foldy flaps, sure.
He will look very upset at that.
I don't know how to put it kindly.
You don't need to.
She'll shuffle it. She'll nudge it in his direction. Like against his arm, she'll push it.
You just stare daggers at her.
Marcel sighs and says, I have more if needed. Listen, I do not want a bloodbath at this riverboat.
I would
The
very
most-
much agree.
The most important thing is going to be collecting intel. If you can only get in, get names, possibly faces, to go with them, and he, like, points, like, with his hand at the camera, we can follow after that. Of course, save who you can, but one life in exchange of another, or loss altogether, is going to be of no use to anyone.
Yes, I agree. This is an information gathering thing. There is a very good chance whoever is in charge of this is not even going to be on the boat.
Absolutely, but someone will be running it, and they will...
Yes, but we need to get to the head of the organization, cut off the head of the snake, as it were.
Yes. And even if it's not the head themselves, I'm sure whoever's leading it, or at least someone on board, will be close enough that if we get their name, we'll be only a step or two away.
Theo's gonna eye Dinah for a second. Dinah, is your moral compass gonna be okay with this? Leaving those people to Diablerie just to get info?
Well, if it means we can stop this completely in the future.
Yes, unfortunately.
Hector's still alive, ain't he?
I recall some people having problems with Bjorn and I's summary dispatching of previous offenders. I was just
He wasn't
curious.
one of them.
Just because it is undesirable, it is not.
Does not mean it isn't necessary.
Yes, it can be acknowledged to be necessary, but doesn't mean we have to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Marcel pulls his
And I
shoulders.
do not like that we have to leave people on this boat.
Not at
But it
all.
will save many more people if we do.
Mhm.
Marcel scrunches his face up and pulls his shoulders in tight as if he's kind of stretching inward. Look, I would prefer if we can save everyone on board, and if there was a miracle chance we could just dispatch of everyone involved. But I just want to make sure my point is clear that I want no blind heroism, because that is how you take 2 steps back and potentially cripple yourself even further.
Agreed.
Marcel, I didn't get older than your father's father by not understanding when the fuck not to throw my life away. Don't talk down to me. I'll bring my finest muzzle. It's diamond encrusted and everything.
Marcel rolls his eyes, but you just catch the tiniest little smirk that, he's trying not to show. All right. With that, it seems like the pre-planning party's just about underway. If you guys have more questions, we can cover that in downtime or just out of character. But let's go ahead and take a little break before we get to the main event, as it might be called. So, as always, during our little breaks, if anybody in the chat has any questions for us about the game or the characters, go ahead and ask them, or just anything at all. I'm just okay. And also let us know how you're doing. If you're having any nice drinks, if you're just having a chill night, just what you've been up to. We haven't talked to you lovely people outside the Discord in a little while, so catch us up, and we'll be back at the game in a little bit. Let's do the song, I think.
Okay,
It's
y'all
been
are
so long since we've done an AMA.
I'm out, Greg.
It's AMA jiggles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance time.
I'm
I
sorry,
am
but
so glad to be
Art-
back, you guys. This feels really nice.
Art is so on it with the memes tonight, man.
Yeah.
He just got ya. He just did ya a burn.
Just did you a dirty one.
So I say we like group up, like meet with our spirits, possessed bodies, shielded
Oh,
auras, and masks / Thanatos bodies.
If we have 48 hours, Luther's just gonna be ripping and roaring through the what's the name of they have like the bayou?
Oh, are you gonna practice the boating?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, right. There was a thing I need to ask Spira.
Yes.
There's a thing I need to ask Spira. It makes me sad that she's not here.
She left. What are you guys all drinking tonight?
Tastes like
Tap water in a Fiji bottle.
Does that say sangria?
sangre.
Oh, sangria.
Because I bought it because vampire, and that means blood.
It's a good call.
I know.
Like
Chris,
I've been
we've all
looking.
said too.
I've been looking for a thematic beer to drink for ages, and it's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Did I show you?
It's not bad.
Did I show you? I think I got it from one of the streams. We have a local IPA, and it's not an IPA, but it's something close. So I'm not the biggest fan of the beer, but it's called Voodoo.
Yeah.
And it's got like the Baron Samedi on it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I
So-
guess I'll have to drink this.
Can we have a
So-
talk
so-
about how California needs to chill the fuck out with IPAs? Like, can
You-
we
No, yeah.
not
So
No,
the
it's-
for
few
like a second,
Yeah,
for like a
the
minute?
few thematic beers I've found have been IPAs, and I'm not a fan of IPAs.
Same.
Also, as a note, my my aunt is in town, so I went and she took me and my wife out to a brewery with my dad, and like the food was decent. Surprisingly large number of horseradish put in potatoes, and I'm not okay with that. But I tried
Horseradish
most
is
of
not
their
like
beers,
sour
and
cream.
every
That's
last
what it
one
said.
of them was garbage.
every single beer
Every
there was
last
terrible.
one of them was passable. Every other one was like, oh. 'Cause
Like
Yeah.
they
tried
were
to
in
find
skunk,
basically
or
all
they
of
were
them.
like just designed.
They were
bad?
all really sour, like really
Oh.
weirdly sour.
Oh,
So
that's my kind
like-
of jam.
every single
Oh.
goddamn brewery I go to here is like 90% IPAs, and then they have one of everything else, and it's really aggravating.
see.
Can we like chill out for like a minute?
See,
Come up
most
to
of the ones
Seattle.
down here are dark. Like a lot of them are dark beers and like wheat beers, but IPAs are meh.
Yeah, in Seattle we grow some stupidly popular hops for IPAs, so that's like what every fucking brewery does. They just do IPAs, and I fucking hate it
Right.
so much. Colorado
Too
was a
much.
fucking godsend.
Colorado has so many goddamn breweries. That's where like most of America's beers come from, really.
I like Almond Gang. They usually have a pretty good variety. And then who makes Golden Monkey? Victory. Victory is a good brewery.
Victory. I do like Golden Monkey is also one of my favorites, and the 7-Eleven down the streets just started selling big like cans of it. I'm really excited.
Very nice. Yes.
The
And there's
one
so
Too
IPA,
bad I'm on a diet right now, but once I'm off that diet, baby.
one IPA that I do really enjoy is Space Dust, and I could fucking drink that shit all day. So good.
I'm like, the bitter and the dirt taste goes so well with everything else. Get rid of it.
I could just see Elvish like it's the metaphor of taking the corset off, like after just like all the chips and beer.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, Spira.
Num.
I meant to ask you a thing.
Okay.
As we were leaving, like when everyone else is filtering out, I wanted to pull Marcel aside. So, just whenever we are ready to get back into it.
Your spirit journey with Zuko.
For sure. No, I just wanted to take a little break, and then I was gonna I was gonna check, but yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Spirit, if he has 48 hours of ripping and roaring on the bayou, he's gonna take it up.
Oh my god, damn it, I
totally
love you.
tell
You're
Marcel
such
like
a dork.
I can totally drive a bow, but like I need a little practice. Be like, yeah, here's the keys.
No, he
We're
wouldn't
just
say.
taking a boat out. Like Dinah's gonna come with you if that's okay.
Open invitation to everyone, just to
Fuck
fucking
yes.
play him into some trees and bushes while he learns to boat.
Theo will turn into a dog and just let his ears go out the side.
Dinah would like
for effect.
go and bring like a 6-pack of beer, even though no one can drink it, just like on principle, just to like be like woo in the bayou.
Cosnark, if you were a dog and the wind was
you're gonna get
would
there,
you
and
try
Rebecca's gonna
bite it?
take like 1 or 2, and then you're just gonna have it lopsided.
I don't care.
I mean, if you take 2, just bring them to Abraham's place. You can have
or
them
like
whenever you come over.
People, hey, you want some beer? Here you go.
All right. So the group continues just going over a couple more details. Marcel finalizes everything he knows intel-wise for all of you. And the group begins to disperse out toward either havens, or if you guys end up, with another night out drinking together. Abraham, however, lingers back a bit and obviously catches Marcel's eye, meaning he wants to speak with him. So Marcel nods and even shoos away Christopher and Anthony, telling them, I'll speak with you later. And Marcel stands alone with Abraham in the parlor.
Yeah, and so I do not. So this thing that I'm doing, I do not know all of the details. I try and avoid doing it, but if perhaps you could, if you could ghoul Philip for the night, it might help mask my aura. I know mine does not know. I have been told, as you know, that mine does not quite appear as it should. So perhaps if his aura is ghouled, that might help justify why I am on the boat.
You meant Peter, right?
Yes. Did I say Philip? I said Philip.
Yeah. It's okay. I was just wanting to make sure
Yeah.
I wasn't mixing something up.
Way to forget the name of the person you're possessing.
Marcel nods.
Peter Hallow, you brat.
Yeah.
Marcel nods and says, no, that shouldn't be a problem, especially in his condition. He would wear away before he would do any mental connection, I believe.
So I think it might be best if that was the case beforehand. It might help mask my aura. I do not exactly know how this works.
I will contact Derek. I'll make sure we have him moved and set up here as soon as possible. We'll tell the family if we have to that he's just been moved into a private wing for some additional,
Testing?
don't know, security reasons, testing, yes. I'll have them figure it out with
security reasons. Whoa.
Abraham,
Yeah.
I'm not a medical person.
No,
Anyway,
I agree. I do not.
I'll have the professionals handle that part, but yes, I'll have him
thank
brought
you.
here right away.
Thank you. And that's all I wanted. Just so I will leave.
Theo will just be kind of like hanging outside waiting for Abraham and Rebecca.
So Rebecca walked along with you. You tell her you just wanted to speak with her in a moment with Abraham. Abraham isn't very long. He just had a couple words to say with Marcel. And just a little while later, you can hear his cane clicking along the marble in the foyer out to the stone steps.
It has a rubber bottom, thank you.
Theo has a
What
great...
nice cane has a rubber?
But- No. This is several days later. I'm back to my Goodwill clothes and my
Fair enough.
and my wife just said, "You have a rubber bottom," and I'm like, "What?"
Fair enough.
Got him.
Get him.
So as Abe walks out, Theo has like a Cheshire-sized grin, just watching Theo, just waiting for him to get closer. Abe, no, this is not good.
If you're staring at me, I will slow down.
He'll just smile bigger and stand there.
Rebecca's gonna take a step away.
Yes, Theo.
Oh, do I have a deal that you cannot pass up? And I am going...
One second.
Hold on.
My headphones stopped being headphones and they started being lap phones. I am back.
Oh, do I have a deal for you? And you're not gonna be able to say no. Gloria! Oh, Rebecca, get the camera, take a picture.
She gave it to you, so she's gonna fiddle around through your clothes. And
While he's still waving at you to get it.
yeah, like he's doing things, she's just gonna start digging through his pockets. She'll pull out the camera.
In emotion...
What am I doing?
No, take a picture of it. Get ready. You ready?
She'll
Theo's
take a
gonna-
picture right now, and then she'll take it.
No, wait for it. Theo's gonna like start gnawing at his wrist in a way that you've seen before, and you would know he's about to start preparing a gree bag.
Ew.
You're gonna be in a human body, and I'm sure you don't want to return that body in bad condition. It's probably better.
She takes another picture of Abe. She'll just take a bunch.
Solidly, his face is just gonna be, motherfucker.
If he keeps it long enough, she's gonna take the camera and try and do a selfie of her and him making the face.
Those go bad in a few days, yes?
Oh, they'll be prepared the day before.
So why are you making
48 hours, that's plenty of time. Or are you planning on lingering?
Wait, it is starting like 46 hours from now. I do not... If this goes longer than 2 hours...
I'll make another. It's fine. I've got plenty. And then as you go to take the selfie, Rebecca, he'll tap you. You too, darling.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, that like Rebecca's that will get a solid like.
No.
He was enjoying his captive audience.
We don't need I'm good. Like I'm a nurse and I'm magically
Trust me. When you have vampiric claws tearing into your flesh, you'll be thankful. If that happens.
Yeah, she's gonna pull out of her lady purse like a bag that's held a bunch of crumpled receipts, and then pull out all of the receipts, like a Ziploc bag, and then stuff those in her purse, and then hand him the Ziploc bag.
He'll just smile at it. No, I've got something more ornate at home. But you definitely both should probably do that.
I do not. How do these work again?
These don't like what Dinah did to that guy, right?
But no, it's just you get a level of my strength and resilience that humans don't have.
You're rotting.
I've been rotting for hundreds of years, yet I'm still here. Pretty fucking resilient.
That's pretty resilient. I cannot argue this.
How exactly do they work again? Like, I know vaguely what they do. Like, what is...
Is fortitude a word that kind would use, or kindred?
Yeah. No, yeah. It's always very vague about, like, if the disciplines have their names in the game. I'm pretty much say they do.
You guys get my fortitude on top of whatever natural strength your bodies have.
Yes, I am saying for how long? For
For up to 48 hours or until you throw up, which for some people happens immediately and we have to try again. But don't worry, I've got lots.
All right, that makes sense.
Remember, you have to swallow it.
I'm gonna bring
Mhm.
like a
He'll
bottle
just
of water.
clap his hands together and just like, all right, I'll bring them. Let's meet before we go in.
I will be here.
You're Abraham or you're Peter right now?
I'm still Abraham.
Okay, cool.
I will be Peter for the one night, and that's about it.
All right, break.
Spira,
Y'all?
we're done.
Okay, I heard you. I'm still listening. That's kind of my job in this. Alright, so the evening wraps up about 48 hours before you know that the riverboat is supposed to arrive for the auction. You have another night or two to yourselves to finalize your internal blood supply and quintessence as far as our mage goes, and every little thing you want to have ready. Last but not least, do inform me, quote unquote equipment. Anyone who's carrying a weapon or electronics.
He wants to go one by one, say what we have.
We'll just do a, we'll go clockwise. So, Rebecca, what are you gonna have on you? You gonna have them nice brass knuckles, baby?
knuckles, baby! And she'll bring, like, a knife, too. But really the brass knuckles. And... like, she'll have a phone. She might actually just, like... not keep it in her bag, but like, you know, like magic shit it out for later.
Sure. Theo, any special toys?
Probably a couple like very old Spanish golden doubloons and just trinkets and random various stuff. The accoutrement of the Baron he would probably have looking the part.
Okay.
And he'd probably ask Abraham for some money to go out and actually like buy the clothing that's befitting him.
Wouldn't even be a question.
Oh my god, Rebecca would ask too. Like she'd just see if she could.
I like to imagine Rebecca and Theo hang out the next night. She sees him text that and be like, oh, me too.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
Okay, so
I know my
solidly-
PCs.
So solidly, I imagine at this point, I probably have a couple of dedicated debit cards that I can load with an amount of money that I think is safe for Theo to control.
Absolutely.
So I probably
Theo
give
gets
him
like an
$5.
allowance.
So $5.
Basically, it's like you don't get access to the black card. You get access to a debit card that I put X money in.
You can only buy one goat instead of a flock of them.
A Visa card you can refill.
Do you even know?
Refill with
Sorry.
the card.
Do you even know how much magic goats go for? It was like 14
Yeah.
shrunken heads.
I
He's
do know
just
how.
slowly building like a Magic the Gathering collection this whole time.
Yes, I do know exactly how much a magic goat costs. It was on my credit report.
I mean, I'm getting better at forging your signature, so.
Alright, Dinah, what do you have on you?
Last time you typed in
She
Babraham.
has like a Bowie knife before, but I kind of want to switch it to one of these guys. One of them old school butterfly knives.
Hey, those
are really cool.
are those illegal in New Orleans? Yeah, they absolutely are.
I think they're illegal in most places.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Yes, she has a butterfly knife. And she has her phone. Other than that, now she doesn't really have anything else.
Fair enough. Abraham, are you gonna prep Peter with anything?
Yeah, phone. Burner phone, not mine. And probably a wallet with a preloaded debit card. You know, like $1,000 on it, maybe. If I need to spend more than $1,000 in a single night, I can use my phone to transfer funds.
You're going to a human auction, but sure.
But then I can transfer funds.
There you go.
Theo would have also Thanatosed in the camera somewhere inside of him to slip through.
All right, and Luther, you're gonna be out on a boat. What you got?
Oh yeah, I have a deck of cards.
Oh, and several USB sticks.
To keep myself busy, and if anyone else is on the boat, then we can play games or something.
There's
And
some
then,
fun
and then
solitaire
obviously
games.
you can do the little trick where you actually like slice someone's throat open with one of them. Just
He would cry. I don't think Luther could handle that.
I know you're a soft-hearted character, and I love it. All right, let's get down
To business. To defeat the Sabbat.
or something
really
like
good
that.
at
Something
well,
about
like if it's 2
Theo
syllables.
is a rot.
You could say
At least
that
it
sabuns, because then you say buns. So it like
Hey,
You could
but like
you could
your
just say
12
to
though.
defeat Sabat. You don't have to put the thought in there. Anyway,
yeah, but like then you don't say buns. So like,
True.
that's a minus.
fair.
Like I feel like the only other thing
Fair.
would maybe be to defeat Mormons, because then it ends with the nuns. But
no.
Still no buns.
but the meter falls on the wrong syllable. Never mind. I'm sorry.
All right. So the night arrives, and all of you, quietly begin to make your way toward this direction. I even have a picture.
All right, so do I need to re-roll my manipulation intimidation to break into his brain, or are we going to use my last roll?
Are we going individually also, or is the group going individually, or are we still together and then heading
Well,
that
I
way?
know I need to meet up with Theo beforehand.
We're all grouping up at like a staging area, then we'll probably stagger arrive to the party.
Yeah.
I should make you roll again, but I liked that roll, so no. You're
Cool,
good.
cool.
Do you need me to roll mask?
I do need you to roll that because you haven't yet.
Yep. What is it? Manipulation.
Performance.
Against 7, right?
Yeah.
For success.
All right. You can even save that. I'll give you a minute, like, to decide what you want to look like, necessarily. But you've got that roll. That's set. So, let's continue finishing the details of who arrives where. To finish explaining, so you heard details from Marcel, saw a map, and then, of course, any of you with even basic computer savvy could have gone home, or with Rebecca's help, maybe seen some Google Map shit to check out the area. So what you understand is there's a very marshy, wooded area that slips down into a bank along the Mississippi River, a little bit outside New Orleans, but not too far away. And from the look of the place, it looks like there might have been like an old cabin there a long time ago, and this dock was for it. But the cabin is long gone, long abandoned, rotting away. Even the dock looks like not very steady. Probably fine for people to walk onto, but cargo wouldn't be good on it. Big ships wouldn't stop here for any reason. And as you heard from Marcel, and we're able to see a little bit in the area, that there is definitely this really weird kind of man-made large rectangle of dirt with some just gravel thrown down. Looks like a kind of quickly man-made parking lot. And then from there is a muddy little path that leads down to the dock. This is what you've been able to look at before. Heading there, of course, you don't want to head right in there, at least some of you. But there's definitely a bit of old freeway that's a little further away, some smaller streets that lead to some old homes, and even a couple cottages that are still along this bank. So there's a couple different areas you could get into with a bit of distance. Luther, there's a dock further back that Marcel left the boat for you. You can see the other dock, but it is a little further away. And that's the general layout before you even walk up and do anything.
All right. So, when Abraham shows up to the where's the predestined meeting place? You decide on that?
Just
I guess this is probably the
place.
dock where the boat that's going to be following them is.
Cool. So Abraham, as Peter, will show up with a McDonald's bag.
Are we all just there, or?
You're
Let's
looking
say
a
you
little
are.
warm today there, Abraham.
What was that?
I said you're looking a little warm today.
And I will offer one to Rebecca. Do you wanna to wash the taste out, or
What's
and I'll point at Theo. It's just a hamburger. I've been curious.
Theo smiles. It won't help.
Wait, have I
Abraham,
eaten it yet? Because she hasn't eaten this shit.
No, I
real
will.
quick, Abraham, did you show up as Abraham and gonna go do
No,
Peter, or you show up as Peter?
Peter first thing in the night, and actually, yeah, I'll show up as Peter first, or I'll go
right.
straight to Marcel's place. Actually, I would probably have stayed the night before at Marcel's place, and then woken up and immediately.
Yep, and just downtiming it, but Marcel and Christopher and Anthony walk you in. Derek's already there. While he is a patient aide at the hospital, you kind of pick up immediately the way he's moving around the patient. He knows a lot more than that. He is at least probably RN level of skill. Just only acts as an aide, so he can move around a little easier. So you see him preparing the patient. He takes as many of the implements out of Peter as he can to keep the body working before you do your trick.
Yeah.
You switch in. Of course, again, it's incredibly awkward, uncomfortable, and painful, but you had that memory now and the willpower to get through it. Your body slumps over. Derek, very quickly, like a good hospital worker, just takes your body and puts it aside to another bed. And you wake up as Peter. Your body definitely feels weak, little out of it. Just even your fingers are a little bit feel a little stiff moving them. But you, as the person inside, are able to get the muscles working a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Cut to, you've arrived shaky and definitely uncomfortable. You are a mind and a body that's not yours, but you're trying to make it through. You know the importance of this mission.
But also, I experienced the world as Peter, so I'm hungry for the first time in several hundred years.
Yeah, if you eat at all in front of Rebecca, she's going to be really interested to watch
Luther
that.
too.
Oh no, I got
So
hamburgers.
all of them are going to be like,
I got hamburgers because I have been curious since they came to America. Like, they became an American staple, and Abraham is interested.
Why did you go with McDonald's? This is something that Rebecca asks.
Are they not good?
They're cheap.
They're everywhere.
Hamburger. They're not. They're convenient. They're not quality.
And these are things I need to learn. Well, I don't need to learn, but it has happened.
Do you even remember how to eat?
Do you not?
Luther, look. Well, I mean, it's a little different.
You put your mouth around it. You chew. You swallow it. He's
Well,
not.
all right, Big
I
Sean.
feel like
Just
this
saying.
conversation's a little too personal for me.
And I'll look at Theo and just say, let's do this.
As much as I would love to torture you, friend, you are my friend. Maybe you should enjoy a bite before the unpleasantness.
This is the idea of a chaser, but okay. And I will take a hamburger and he'll chew and nod. That is very interesting. Like fascinated, but like
don't call it that.
It's good.
You're eating a McDonald's McDouble. You don't call it interesting. Someone's gonna think there's a roach in there.
I have never had this. This is very greasy from what I remember. Also, the soda is I like soda.
Soda.
Yes, it bites. It tickles. It is weird.
Oh my god. No, Rebecca's just gonna hug you. She's fucking, she cannot even.
Even carbonated drinks would be
would be beyond him.
That's adorable.
Theo will sort of like rummage through his very nice clothes. He probably commissioned a cosplayer to make these for him. With your credit card that he actually stole. But anyway, he'll like ruffle through and pull out two very nice red velvet just small bags that are cinched together with some really nice string with like a little seal on it that you would recognize as like Theo's seal.
Yeah.
And when you guys, he'll hand them to you guys.
Meow.
Meow.
I will. So do you like? I know I've seen other people do it. I've never needed to because I have fortitude. But you open it up. Okay, yeah.
Yes, open. You can eat the bag. It's just a nice gesture. I'm trying here.
I appreciate it.
Well, that's just sweet.
So hold on, real quick. As you open it, what you actually pull out is rice paper, like you would get in a spring roll, and there's a dark nori. There's actually like seaweed around it, so you can't see any of the contents of the bag. Swallow them whole, and you shouldn't taste anything. As much as I wanted to watch that.
I appreciate it.
That's so thoughtful.
I will try and swallow it whole. I don't know how successful I will be. I don't know how big it is.
No, it's quite small. You don't need a lot. And he did season it too. Like he did his best to like season it and make it not bad.
Rebecca is solidly.
Just sprinkle some fucking oregano on it.
No.
I got an idea.
He was in the rice paper aisle and he's like, "What is this Asian seed?" Okay.
Enough garlic will cover up anything.
It's just covered in wasabi.
Rebecca is solidly going to first grab Peter's cup from him, his cup of soda, and then she'll look at it and she'll give it back, and then she'll pull out a flask from her purse and then put the rice paper in and then chug with the flask like a pill, but with alcohol. And then looking at the flask, she's gonna and then just hand it to Peter. Hey, let's get drunk, or like not drunk, but like
That is a bad idea, but
not drunk, but like you should try this while you can.
I solidly like he'll take a swig and do the. That is, I did not remember it being that strong.
Real quick, I just gotta say, I love this game. I love all of you, and I love our chat, but I think my favorite chat we've had in like 2 years of doing this is what flavors would best cover up corpse meat.
Right now, we're trying to pick hot sauces. We're like, Cholula? No, wait, it's Louisiana. What is it, Tabasco? I don't know.
Hot sauces to cover up.
The gree-gree.
It's not fucking Tabasco. Vinegar on vinegar of flesh is not gonna do it.
You know, with a shot of Tabasco, and it's the bee's knees.
No, but it doesn't actually. Like, I get the reference, but no.
No, Tabasco's great and everything, but that's just for macaroni and cheese. If you really need to cover
Tabasco's
something up with
garbage.
some hot sauce. No, I mean, it's good for macaroni and cheese. Anything
It's good
else.
for macaroni and cheese.
It
No,
has
no.
its
I do
place.
like macaroni and cheese, but you're right.
Yes,
I
and
pretty
its place
much
is the
every other
goddamn
place for
garbage.
everything
Thank
else.
you.
No, I'm saying literally Tabasco is for macaroni and cheese, nothing else, because it doesn't add any flavor. You still want to eat the cheese, but you want some heat. That's why it's perfect.
It does add flavor. It
Everything-
adds shitty vinegary flavor.
No, it
Well,
doesn't.
you don't
Hey,
want it on.
All right,
cold
we are
flesh.
way off track. You guys gotta save some humans and some kindred.
What? We're gonna do combat tonight?
No,
I thought we were
no.
gonna talk
No,
about hot sauce.
no.
Good time to me.
That is a bad idea.
If you're smart about it, you don't have to fight nobody.
It's tequila and Sprite.
This
Have more.
is that special video game part where you get to decide: are you clever and smart and quiet and stealthy, or do you trip the wire and then have to fight everybody?
Brass knuckles, motherfucker.
Okay. So y'all have met up at a dock further down the river than where the-
4 fort for you guys. I forget how it adds up.
Okay.
I was gonna find it too.
I think you get my soak die, which is 4 fort.
Yeah.
So 4 dies of soak.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Once.
That is what that is.
Once.
So you
So,
arrive at a dock.
Actually, yeah. So we get it one time.
Yeah.
Which, hey, the first one is the one that you're
and
most
then
likely
you
to
run
take the hardest.
away.
Yeah.
Theo's trying, man. He's like the worst support character of all time, but he's trying.
So you arrive at a dock further down the river from where you know that the riverboat is supposed to arrive. You don't see it yet, but you are hearing commotion on the road that's nearby. That's basically heading down the road in the exact direction of the next dock. And you can just hear cars, but for anyone with, let's say, higher perception, anyone with 4, or high alertness, at least like 3 or 4, you can even like start to hear a couple voices down along the woods.
Hey, so 2 things. One, Peter's white, right?
Yes,
So he should not be
is-
walking around with a Kikongo accent. 2,
But you could be South African.
they have a very British type accent.
Yes,
They do
but
not have
depends on who
Congo
fucking knows that.
So I'll just use an accent. I mean, I can do it. And 2, Dinah, if you could check my aura, I'm curious what it looks like, so I know.
Yes, honey. All right, let me do that for you. Yeah, I got 3 successes.
Nice. Hey, Spira, what's my aura look like?
Alright. Oh, she got 3 successes? Okay. Do. So, with 3 successes, she can definitely see a color, maybe 2. And since Dinah's looking at you, Dinah, you're gonna get a similar thing where he looks kind of human, but a bit off. So almost like how ghouls sometimes look. So you're gonna say like, in your mind, it fits with what Rebecca's disguise looks like.
All right. So what?
It looks fine to me.
Fine, like I am. Kind
Like you look kind of like her, which is to say, kind of muddled and ghouly.
Okay, so this is the part. Sorry, this is the part. That's the part I need to play. Is a ghoul coming?
I mean, you look human.
Yeah. All right.
Looking like
that's-
an unaffiliated human might look a little strange, so it's probably good.
Yeah. That. So we need to. Actually, Rebecca, perhaps did we come together as?
Sorry, my bad. Actually, you definitely look like a ghoul, which has a slightly paler than human, but still human aura because Marcel did Ghoul Peter. My bad. I forgot about that for a sec.
Okay. So that's something. Are we like secret shoppers for an unnamed buyer?
Sure.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
All right. Just wanted to.
I didn't know you could do accents.
I am 300 years old.
Theo will like rub his throat.
Spent time with stuff.
I do have to. Yeah, real quick. Just last thing. I do have to pretend to be other people every once in a while.
You sound like a British person doing a really good American accent.
Hi, Kitty. I hate you so much.
Like, that's impressive. That's some Victor Victoria shit.
And see, now I'm self-conscious about it.
No, but you're so good. Anyway.
And Theo's gonna like rub his throat and just sort of like focus and like close his eyes for a while, and clearly doing something. Abraham knows it's him changing his vocal cords. Yes, meow. Trying to figure out the right sound.
I like that last one.
Is this how the Baron sounds?
Definitely go with that. Confidence.
Awesome.
I like it.
But no, he'll kind of like focus on that while everyone prepares. So, real quick, Spiros.
Yeah.
If he's masked, I don't know. I don't know the logistics of this. Is the Baron wearing makeup, or is his mask of that of a person wearing makeup? Is it magic makeup or regular makeup?
Mask with makeup won't make a difference. If mask is an actual droppable illusion, not like vicissitude or anything where or even Thanatosis, where you could change the shape of your skin and then paint it. The Baron has a very specific image he created as the human African American persona that has this makeup and this outfit and hat. He wears the outfit and the hat, but no. Part of the disguise is the skin wearing the makeup.
Okay. With 4 successes, can I replicate my own style? It would not be an exact copy of the Baron, but it would be the stylistic makeup of that, and he would continue to be white.
4 is definitely enough. You only need 5 if you're majorly changing height, muscle mass, or gender.
Actually,
4, I think you can even change a little bit of height. Nothing extreme. You need at least 5 to do something very, very different. So gender change, like adding a height or lowering a height, but like couple inches of height, a little bit of muscle mass, that's fine. Like just kind of fitting closer to something. But 4 is pretty good to replicate anyone close enough to your gender, size, whatever.
Yeah, but it'll give me all the makeup and all the stuff I need.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And he did. Abraham gave him all the stuff, so he'll kind of focus on that. Also, update: you actually get my Thanatosis score, so you each have 6 soak die.
Nice. Actually, then I might have used that in the past, because that's
Six
more
is
than I
no
have in
joke.
Fortitude.
It's more than I have in Fortitude
That's
too. I
double
should
my
be
Fortitude.
myself. But anyway. Oh, Thea would have offered to Dinah and Luther if they decided they wanted it.
Oh no, I'm fine, Theo. I might pass on that.
Thank you very kindly, but
I'm just gonna be out here on the boat, but I'm sure Dinah wants to have some of that.
Oh no, Dinah's a spirit?
I'll be astral projecting.
actually, now not putting any words in anybody's mouth, but Dinah, that might be a good spot for you to maybe stay on that boat.
Hmm?
I don't know where
If
you
you
decide to
got
put
on
the body.
boat that Luther's going to meet
Yeah,
you.
I was gonna be on the boat that's following.
I thought that's what you wanted. I wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that if I come back immediately, I'll be able to tell them if something's wrong
All
and
right.
get up to help, or try to. Apparently, it takes a second to come back.
Also, if shit gets out of hand, they can take your body to a safe place if things get late.
Luther just whooshes off. Toreadors, baby!
Yeah, yeah. He might go save Rebecca too.
He's soft-hearted. It's a fun flaw. Alright. Alright, so everyone kind of understands what
Yeet.
their plans are. You sit around this kind of open area next to another small dock that's next to a cabin that doesn't look abandoned, but it looks like it's a summer place, and no one's in there right now, because it's still just kind of early spring, not really good weather just yet, or maybe they come down on the weekends. It's just a Thursday night. So you hear a couple more cars pass along this quiet road along ahead up in the woods, heading in the direction that you know the other dock is. And as you finalize your plans with one another, you start to hear the very distinct, large, like, slapping of water from the clunking of a classic Mississippi riverboat going through the waters. And you can already see it just down the way.
Oh, hey, real quick. I'm sure we would have figured this out beforehand. What are we calling each other? Theo would have told everyone to call him the Baron.
Peter, Peter's fine, I guess.
Your name's Margaret. Tell him to call him Margie or Marge or something.
Margaret's a terrible name.
That's my mother's name.
I mean, if you didn't have a choice.
Dinah, what did you say yours was?
I'm
Dinah won't
invisible.
be-
I am Ghost Lady.
Okay, yeah.
How about Sabrina? That's
Ye-
kind of fun because of the show about the teenage witch. Let's go with Sabrina.
You're a 20-something witch. I see it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, the college episodes are some of the best. So, anyway. So, you are all still in the secluded area out in the muddy, swampy, marshy banks of the Mississippi. And you hear this this riverboat coming down the way. And as you look back out against the water, the sun is fully set, only like maybe the slightest tinge of yellow against dark blue. You see the kind of like 2 stories full of lights, with a 3rd story of a captain's cabin and just one last little bit of balcony area, just chugging along slowly, making a, heavy noise in the water, but otherwise pretty quiet.
Last thing, sorry to keep screwing up
No,
the
no,
narrative.
no, no. Like, let me know all the things you guys are thinking. I'm just progressing the scene that's happening while you guys are still talking.
I'm assuming it's settled that Anthony and Sabrina are my ghouls.
Yes.
Anthony and Sabrina?
Sorry,
Peter.
Anthony. I don't know where Peter.
Peter.
that
Peter and
was
Sabrina.
better than
Peter.
I thought. I didn't think that was settled. That I
It
like
wasn't.
better.
So if I said yes, like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, clarify.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, yeah.
It
Just
would
checking.
explain while we're and I was gonna say a thing about because she can still use telepathy, which means she can still interact with us.
I was gonna say she could just have. She has telepathy. That was all I was gonna say. So she could have sent messages anyway.
So the riverboat continues chugging along. You watch it languidly pass by the dock area all of you are set at. And once you are sure it's fairly out of sight for where you are, Luther and Dinah go ahead and make their way down to the speedboat. So, before Theo, Rebecca, and Abraham make a move, go ahead, Luther and Dinah. I don't think Dinah can hear me yet.
Dinah.
Oh,
As
I
a
didn't
note.
know. I didn't see any headphones. I was like,
I have
As
these
a
headphones,
note,
and I
it's
don't
okay.
like to because the speakers I have blow my headphones out about halfway
That's
through
fine.
every session. So
Hey, as a note, just want to remind you, you can still use telepathy completely normally.
yes, I
So,
can.
So with
I can
me,
use
there's
any of my presence powers.
well, no, yeah. Auspex, you don't even have to. You use it as normal.
Shit.
Yeah, Auspex you can use as normal. Your other abilities, it's that weird, like you have to get a couple successes. But telepathy is like you're rolling it normally. So I think we've
Oh,
established you and
sweet.
I.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I telepathy regularly enough that I know what your brain meats feel like.
That's the gross
Right.
way you could put that.
I know.
I put my fingers in your brain meats before.
all right. So, Dinah, you follow Luther down the local dock, down to the nice little speedboat that you two have also had a couple fun joyrides over the last couple days. So, go ahead, give me a little fluff.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, I know, honey, but we gotta. Otherwise, a lot of more people are gonna get hurt.
Hey, look, I'm not trying to back out. I'm just saying, it happens every once in a while, but we gotta stick our necks out. And I know me, I never love it.
That's probably a good thing. Means you're a peaceable kind of fella.
Yeah, and then now with us spending more time with Theo and Abraham and Rebecca, and now I have to start watching out for them too.
Oh, hey, you're doing a good job. You're gonna have to watch over me while I'm in this boat, though, because I won't be able to move.
Please, you think anyone's gonna be able to catch us in this thing? What, that houseboat
That's
gonna creep up on us?
That's why I'm coming in your boat.
Also, do I have to keep you close to any
I don't think
destination?
so. I should be able to reach it just fine. I've been practicing, but I figured it can't hurt.
Can I wake you up out of it? Can I yell for you? If I need you to come back to the boat, is there something I can
I
do?
don't know. I've never tried that before.
We'll just try it out, you know?
Oh, well.
Dinah if you want to give a quick little jump out. I won't make you roll because you're just trying to like jump out for a second. If you want to try.
Okay. Let's see if that works. Will that make you feel better?
Yeah, get in the boat.
All right. She hops in and kind of sits herself on one of those boat cushion seats, and hops out for a second.
Give me
She'll
perception,
go kind of stiff.
alertness at 5, and Luther, reach out to her.
What do you mean reach out to her?
Say
Just
something.
slap her. Just slap her.
When it
Luther
happens,
never
does she slump or anything, or does she stay
She does
perfectly
kind of look
sitting?
like someone who just like kind of fell asleep real fast. Like,
Okay, yeah. If that happens, he would kind of catch her and like make sure she lays down.
no.
But he would probably reach over and grab some water and like kind of just spray it and see if anything happens.
4.
You're fine.
Donna, this whole thing. Are you here? Can you see me doing this?
Can I telepathy in his brain? That'd be funnier.
So Dinah, you hear it like a very faint whisper. It almost is like a distant voice in a dream, but you do hear him. Maybe a little like mumbled almost, but you know Luther very well, so you hear his voice and you hear like him saying, "Dinah, all right." And yes, you do recognize his voice. You hear a few words from him, and you can reach back. It will also be muddled, just saying that ahead of time, but you can go ahead and say something back to him.
Okay. Do I need to roll the telepathy for aspects? Like I thought that
Yes.
just worked normally.
Yeah, no, roll for telepathy.
I'm now getting bigger handfuls of water to pour on her face.
Why?
She's gonna drown before.
Being polite.
They don't have to breathe. She's
Fine.
fine.
Subterfuge. Okay.
Peter's something else, but
What difficulty?
what's your willpower, Luther? Ooh, 8.
8 willpower.
And he's
See,
not.
I gave Dinah 4.
Yeah, Abraham, I gave you a lighter situation because you connected about that. You haven't done it with him before.
1.
All right. So, what do you say to him?
Yeah, I hear you.
You just kind of barely hear Dinah's voice in your head say, "Yeah," and it like fades away.
He'll kind of, oh, Dinah, this is just, I can barely even hear you. I don't even, and he'll kind of like lean his ear closer to her mouth.
It doesn't move.
So again, Dinah, it's a little muddled, but you do hear like, "Dinah, I can't hear you."
2 that time.
Also, where are you projecting to right now? Are you watching over us?
She
Yeah, I'm
just popped
standing
out her
right
body.
next to you.
Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead and say something again.
Spend a willpower to become a ghost.
You can do it. It's a thing you can do.
I got 2 successes that time.
Yeah, what do you say to him?
That doesn't help. Because I can see what he's doing.
It's a little quiet, whispered. It's like you're trying really hard to hear someone from a distance or not speaking loudly, but you do hear, "That doesn't help."
The water's not help. Man, I don't know how. What if and he'll kind of like start nudging her and like pushing her shoulder a little bit. Can you feel this, or is this
Yeah,
just?
Stop it.
You hear a slightly more clear, "Stop."
You'll kind of you would step back, just be like, I don't. If you can hear me, then that's fine. I guess. This is fine. I guess this is all right.
I'll go back in. and blink and be like,
So Luther, particularly what you see her again like someone who was almost like startled from a nap. And Dinah comes back.
Oh,
really? With the water?
oh,
Really?
I mean, you weren't reacting to any of the
I'm not gonna
lighter.
react, honey. I'm basically in torpor.
I don't know. This is new for me just as much as it is for you. I mean, so you could hear me though, right?
Yeah, it was kind of a whisper, but I could hear you.
All right. Well, I mean, that's good enough. Maybe it's pretty quiet out here. Hopefully, you can hear me over any of the party shenanigans that might be going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we better get going.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll start it up, and I'll get zipping zopping.
Are you gonna do like you're some guy just on the river, or are you heading there?
So explain the boat to me. Are we just on like one of those little skippers with the giant fan on them, or is it what kind of boat are we dealing with?
You're on like a easily 4-person sport boat. Like you could get a couple more people on if you wanted, but comfortably seats like the person at the front doing the actual motor has like someone else sitting across from them, and then like the nice 2-3 seater in the back.
Yeah, then he might make like a single pass by them, but man, what would someone? It would be nighttime, so it's probably not like an appropriate time for a speedboat.
It's totally an appropriate time, and it's late spring. It's getting warmer. Like you're just some, and Luther's still like mid-20s, right?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit. I forget actually how old Luther is. I think
you said he
might
was
be
like
late.
a slave attendant when he went into the poker tournament that got him his embrace.
You are just mixing everything up. But yeah, he was a.
You were a slave who went into the poker game.
No, this was after slavery. He wasn't a slave. His parents were slaves. He was the child of slaves. After
you were still working in the house, though.
Yes, yeah, but they still worked for the house of the slave master.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was thinking you were early mid-20s, but
Yeah, let's go with late 20s for right now. I'm gonna look it up.
But if you're even like 28, someone out on a speedboat at night, like late spring, that totally sounds like spring break. Like I'm going out with my girlfriend.
My passed out girlfriend.
No, she's back. She's back for now.
Yeah.
Because of the implication.
Exactly. Out on the open
Because of the way
seas.
that it is.
Anything could happen.
Parents are out of the house.
Not
You're
gonna
taking the
say
speed.
no.
Parents are out of the house. You're taking the speedboat out.
But yeah, then he'll go zipping and zopping and just like kind of raising hell. But he won't pass their boat too many times. He'll probably be doing it on like we'll say like the eastern side of the river from them.
Zipping and zopping like
Zipping
you do.
and zap.
Like you, as you do.
Stopping.
In an alternate universe, it's him on an airboat with someone with a banjo on the front, or just ding 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 ding. Wah!
Just some good old boys out there raising hell.
Going to catch some gators.
Shoot
Y'all
up.
don't know about that, but we out here catching some gators.
Shoot up.
Home.
Dinah and Luther in the airboat with like people chasing them. And it's like, what are them Toreador kids gonna get out of this?
Them Duke boys.
Luther just
Exactly.
screams from the side, I saw this boat in half. Anyway.
And he's on the fucking boat.
Okay. Nope. All
That's
right.
a lot of damage.
All right. Nope. We don't. He doesn't need any more money. So we're gonna take another break.
He does some money.
35 years old.
This thing's gonna fly apart any minute. I can scarcely believe.
Everybody fucking knows what we're talking about. I didn't need to make that motherfucker any more money. All right. taking another break though, so as always, ask us some questions, chat with us for a couple minutes. We'll be back to the game in a few.
My cat, he licked all of the salt off of a potato chip. And
What
then
a
he-
dick.
That's
Like,
so rude.
so it's like the only two human foods that he will deign to touch are Cheez-Its and lasagna. My cat is fucking Garfield.
Your
like-
cat's
like-
fucking garbage is what
Like fees off.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. And like he'll lick stuff, but he never eats anything unless it's a Cheez-It or lasagna.
My
And,
dog
like,
will eat
he
whatever
goes
people
after
food you give
lasagna.
him. He will eat any of the people food. Like even if he doesn't like it, it's human food. He knows this.
No,
Except like he eats hard-boiled eggs like he's scared. Like he's always afraid to eat them because he doesn't know how. Like he just doesn't know the process.
Oh my god.
my dog growing up, we were the family that, like, you know, lets the dog clean the plate before we put it in the dishwasher. And my dad made this spaghetti sauce that was like a meat sauce with like veggies and or with like mushrooms and olives and meat, and it was, you know, really well made. And for some reason, this dog, you put the plate down, and she would lick the bowl spotless except for the olives.
Oh my
And then when she was done, she would eat the olives. So I don't know if she was saving the best for last, or she was like, I don't want to eat these olives. Fine, I guess I'll eat these too. I'm not sure which one it was.
I've given him like carrots. I think that's probably the one that he's always like the most hesitant about. Like he'll take them, and then like there's a good amount of time where he's like, "Are you fucking with me?" And then he'll eat them. I'm very big.
The most Ninja Toads mentioned his dog or their dog will eat paper, and I actually did once have a teething dog, and I left my homework on the ground, and I got to go to school and say my dog ate my homework. See, look, and I had a plastic bag full of just shredded homework. So I got to say my dog ate my homework.
So I work at a bank as a bank teller, and I absolutely have had more than one customer come in and be like, so this was my paycheck. Or this is, you know, a couple $20 bills that my dumb dog got to, and it's like just chewed up. And so then I had to like do something special so I could process it. But yeah, that happens a lot.
So I have a bad habit probably, but it's a tradition now, is anytime I buy a new wallet, I don't like new wallets. They just look too clean and I just hate it. So the dogs get the wallet. So I fill the wallet with my stuff, and then I give it to the dog and I go, play.
That is the most Theo thing I think I've ever heard you say.
Well, he doesn't put the important things in it, but like he hands them the new wallet and lets them just like kind of just.
The empty.
Yeah,
How
they
many
get
wallets
want
have
it
you
and tear it
gone
up
through?
and a few. I
have had 2 wallets since I was 13. And I borderline cried when I had to get rid of the first one.
Okay, so a part of it is probably degrading the quality of the wallet because I gave it to a dog to tear up day one. So they end up with holes in random spots, usually where the teeth made holes to start with, and then they wear from there. But I hate the look of a new wallet, like a shiny new wallet, and I'm like, fucking fix this garbage.
Also, a lot of
Like-
times, people like his mom or someone would buy him a wallet, and like it looked nice, but it was cheap nice. So like it smelled like shit because it had that crap like whatever stuff to make it look like good leather,
Like
crap
veneered
on it,
leather.
and it wasn't actually good material in the first place. So he was like, "Here, dog, have fun, make it look at least and feel a bit better than the crap it looks like now."
But even my nice
like-
wallets, like I'll spend like $80 on a nice leather wallet and I give it to the dog.
So the 2 wallets I've had have both been fossil, and like I don't know, it's kind of supposed to look like crap. Like there's a crease or a cut on here where I closed my wallet in the door of a tactical vehicle, and there's just like there's a slice in it because I closed at the door of a tactical vehicle, and that it's character. It's interesting. It makes the wallet feel used.
I agree, except mine are covered in teeth marks.
I discovered I really love eel leather. I got one at a thrift store for like $1, and apparently like good. And it was a genuine eel leather wallet. Like I guess the person who got it at the thrift store thought it was just like a cheap one and just not marked it for $1. I found out afterwards they're not that expensive, but even better made ones can get really expensive. And I was like, these are so nice though. They feel slick and they look pretty.
Yeah, but like the day that I got rid of my my first real wallet that I admittedly stole from a friend as a kid. The day that I got rid of that wallet, like it was an emotional day. And like I mentioned that to the teller, and she was like, "Yeah,
My
apparently
Velcro
guys do that a
Pikachu
lot."
wallet is gone.
No, it was a nice fossil wallet.
I'm just messing.
Why I bought another fossil wallet, because I know that they are reliable.
Yeah.
So
Hey, fossil sponsor us.
Here's the thing about wallets is like if you're gonna sit on something for several years straight every single fucking day, it's got an ass feel. And you don't want to change it out for a different ass feel because then you're like,
Yeah, right.
"Weird, there's a wallet in your pocket and it takes like several months to get used to, just like wearing in shoes. You have
Not to
wear
mention
your
like,
ass into the wallet.
You don't
Yeah,
gotta
not-
worry about that because wallets don't fit in girl pockets.
Yeah. Nope.
Hey, but like on the plus side, for us, wallets do fit in guy pockets. So, you know, we win that one. Pockets are nice.
Win that, or like, are you just flaunting that you've never let anyone else have that? Because that feels.
Oh no, I am absolutely annoyed that girl pants don't have pockets. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
because we have to
shit.
carry all their fucking shit when they don't.
That's
So
what
we're forced
purses
to buy
are for.
purses. Yeah.
Yeah, have a wife that won't use a fucking purse. That means I got 2 cell phones, 2 wallets. I've got like fucking keys for 2 people. I'm walking around like a fucking janitor in a kleptomaniac store, and I'm like, what the hell?
You better hope your pants fit. If your pants don't fit, they're coming down. All
I
that weight.
want women to
What
be
are
able
you
to
talking
use
about?
the
You married a
pocket.
tomboy. I carry my keys in my wallet, and I make sure I have someone to put my wallet in because I don't want to have to carry anything. I've done it like twice, and usually, actually, I'll take out my ID and my credit card and go, here, put these in your wallet. That way I don't have to carry my wallet.
And now my wallet's the wrong size and has the wrong ass feel.
Yeah.
God damn it.
No, that's.
All right,
I want
give it-
women's
eh,
pants. Last comment. I want women's pants to have pockets so that it's not weird for me to carry a purse, because that would also be useful at times.
Fair enough. All right, Luther and Dinah, before we hop over to the other half of our party, do you have anything
Yeah.
else?
Is there anything Dinah wants to say?
Ow! No, well, like a very sincere thank you and a hug.
What are you thanking me for?
Just being there even
Sorry, I
when
had to add the sound effect in.
Just for what?
For always stepping up and being there, even when you're uncomfortable, or you're just a very reliable man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, you know, you can put that on my tombstone. Very reliable man. Thank you. And he'll give you a smile and he'll hug you back. I know what you're saying.
Just as Luther goes to give Dinah a friendly hug back, slight little like extra hard turn on the steer splashes a little water on the side of the boat, just getting a little nice kind of log flume mist on everybody.
Yeah.
Make it a little more fun for a deep, serious, unfortunate night.
Can I do a drive roll and see how awesome I'm being?
Dude, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, why else would you?
I
This
don't-
is a game where you actually get to use the drive roll.
I was gonna say, I don't like anybody taking 5 in something and not using it.
So this isn't a car. What do you want me to roll?
Oh, it's the same, Dex and Drive.
My target.
Let's go with 6. And my reason is, if someone, like, had no reason to have ever driven a boat, I'd make it higher. But you're in New Orleans. You're nuts about driving a little daredevil, and, you know, you play with poker groups. Of course you've been on a fucking speedboat before. Nice.
5 successes.
Alright, give me a little fluff, baby.
Well, when we turned out of there, I definitely would have, kind of kicked out the back end, and I wouldn't have tried to get the people away because they're all dressed all fancy and stuff. But I would have made a show of it and just gone skipping
Mine is
over
not
all
dressed
that
fancy.
stuff.
She's in like jeans and like a shirt.
The people on the shore and stuff like that. And I would make sure to do a couple passes in front of them, a little hooting and hollering, and then.
Oh yeah, so is Dinah. Who's
all that excitement to mask his complete, almost nervous breakdown he's having.
Are we the 2 youngest? I think we are.
No, Rebecca.
Rebecca
Of the
is.
vampires I met.
Oh, okay.
Of the cool people, yeah.
No.
Li-
Seriously,
literally-
because,
no,
like,
literally.
The vampires going like them Toreador kids. Like,
Well, I'm
Literally.
The 2
Of the
youngest
cool
are
people.
Rebecca and Peter, you brat.
No, yeah, but hey, no, they are still the youngest of the 2 of the cool ones. What with the fact that their body temperature is lower than humans?
Because they're frigid
Are you-
corpses.
Savani, are you sure you're not pregnant? Because you keep making
I
dad
wouldn't
jokes.
be pregnant. I wouldn't be pregnant. My
No,
wife
like,
would be
we-
pregnant.
You know, like
No,
and
you
your
never
wife
know.
are pregnant.
horses, man.
So back on shore. Abraham, Theo, and Rebecca, you hear, like, it sounds a lot quieter than it was earlier. It seemed like a slew of cars went by for a little while, and you just hear one more pass by. After that, it seems very quiet, maybe an odd car here and there, but not much. You see and hear Luther and Dinah out on the speedboat, kind of going a little college kid wild out on the river, and actually seems like maybe a good idea than rather staying too quiet. It just seems like 2 people out on the river, so if anyone spots that boat, they don't think much of it. Maybe it's just people. Now, you know that it's probably about time since you've seen the riverboat pass by your area, and it's just chugging up to that other dock to get moving. Abraham / Peter, give me a wits and etiquette roll. You have them, don't
Okay,
worry.
just give me, just real quick.
7 if you don't have it up.
Yeah, 7. Because I updated the sheet today, it's in a different place than I'm used to it being.
No problem. I didn't think you added to those, so.
Versus 6.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2.
Yeah, good enough. You realize, thinking about it, this sort of event is obviously gonna have some elders, some fancy, despite the debauchery to do type people. And if you and Rebecca are playing ghouls to Theo's character, you should be driving him.
Just as a note, if we're his ghouls, we should probably be driving, and you've seen how I drive.
Okay.
Like, I can do it.
I thought maybe Peter would have been better, but I mean, saying it out loud sounds stupider.
Yeah. Don't think it works that way.
I got it. I already got it. We don't have to drive it in.
I mean, we do though. That's what the
Okay, well,
we have to drive it, and
Theo
Peter,
is just
love you,
straight up
but I
like,
don't need you right now. Can you? What's our car situation?
it's Abraham. Pick one.
Abraham, can you get us like a vampire car, please?
A vampire car? Batmobile?
You know, like a
Danicus bats! Vampires!
a car that
Well,
one of the
hey-
night.
Hey,
would
Luther
drive.
probably showed up in something nice if you just want to text him.
Can we borrow your car?
No, I'm not texting him that. He likes his car.
I will. Any chance we can borrow your car? We have to look important. And your car looks important.
He'll kind of laugh when he gets it. I'm assuming I'm still just like cruising all up and down the bayou. Yeah, of course. And
Which
he'll
car did you
kind
bring?
of he would have brought I mean he still has a Mercedes AMG. He probably would have brought that one.
You have that and the Bugatti.
Yeah, he probably would have no, he'd probably be in the Bugatti, and then he'd probably be looking for a seller for that AMG. So yeah, he'll flip the boat around. Donna, how's your throne on?
Dinah's dead right now.
Is she already
Was my
astro
phone
projected?
on? I'm sorry. I was distracted.
No,
by
I meant I
something
thought you were
weird.
astro projected.
No, she went back into her body.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
She did for a touch to test it again about like how she could talk or hear things, but then she went back in her body.
Yeah, she didn't make me roll for that one. I'll have to roll for the real one.
Is she gonna toss the keys?
He'll take out his keys and kind of hand them to you.
Sure. I'm gonna use celerity.
We'll do a
Rebecca's
swing.
in like a nice dress, so
We'll
she-
do a swing by and let her toss him the keys onto the shore.
Yeah, Rebecca's in like a nice dress, so she'll like if you throw it, she'll think about it and like maybe start to, and then realize that she's not secure, and then she'll just let it fall.
Are we gonna need to roll for the toss spear?
Do we need to roll?
No, we're good.
Thank
Okay.
you. I feel like we're wasting time with this
Okay.
stuff.
So
I
Rebecca
want
takes the
rolls
keys.
for important stuff.
So Rebecca takes the keys and walks up to the two gentlemen. Hey, Peter,
Yeah.
I'm driving and it's a two-seater.
I'm pretty sure it's a
It's a Bugatti.
they I think I just looked have a center seat, or some of them do have
What?
a shitty squeezed center seat.
Or Rebecca could be like a trophy and just like sit on top.
She's driving. Like
Then Peter could be a trophy
Thank
and
you.
just sit on top.
Or I could sit in Theo's lap.
or like just squeeze in the trunk. It's not that bad.
No. I think
What
I think I
central
did.
seat
No,
are you
I think
talking
I
about?
did.
Every
I did-
interior is a cup holder.
I did pick out a 4-seater Bugatti. It's a
Ah,
sport.
There is no such.
I'm looking at the video right now of it, and there is
All right, let's say
Two-
Luther brought the other one then.
2 seats.
Both of them are 2 seats. Just
He
Abraham.
only brings two-seater cars.
We
Okay.
planned this. Abraham bought a really nice, town car.
Why don't you just rent one?
Yeah, rent. You don't get to be as rich as
Good
Abraham is by
finances.
buying.
I said
Yeah.
brought, not
Oh.
bought.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, fine.
Okay.
So Abraham brought one. He doesn't drive though. So do you have a driver, or did they leave?
I want to
we-
drive. Let
We
me
would have
drive.
dismissed the driver, and Rebecca will be driving.
Thank you.
All right. So the
Ah.
driver agrees to wait in this like kind of almost like picnicky area.
As Theo, the Baron, gets in the back seat, he'll sort of open a nice metal case out of his pocket with like 3 cigars in it, pull one out, ceremoniously do the ritual of like, clipping it and lighting it and all that, and look over at Abraham and just $3,000, It is all for character. It's fine. It's
Rebecca
fine.
revs the engine and cackles.
Oh,
All of
Abraham,
you.
you poor thing.
You're all just douches with my money.
All right, to get a little further in this game, because I already knew it was going to be 3 sessions probably,
Yeah.
but like, let's move along.
Yeah.
Rebecca, Rebecca, you drive the very nice car
It's
Abraham
not a
brought
smooth
along.
ride. Can we just say
No.
that?
Yeah,
Like-
it's awkward, but it's a quiet, dead road, so it doesn't make much noise.
Is Rebecca really that bad at driving?
She's not bad at but she's also really eager because I imagine it's a very nice car.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like-
I'm
so
gonna-
yeah, so she like it starts too fast and like it's and then like she's just and then at some point she's just having fun with it. Like it's
she's
not
she's absolutely me IRL in a new car that isn't like an old like Honda. Anything nicer than a Honda, I would be like.
Theo's gonna like rub the bridge of his nose.
So Rebecca gets out of the area. Sorry, finish Theo.
Rebecca, would you please drive like you have some respectable ability as a ghoul?
Sure. How do ghouls do respect again? And then she'll just like punch it.
Rebecca,
We're
Going
going
to
to trying
blow
to
up
make.
before we get there.
We are trying to make a specific appearance.
Rebecca, you do know how to drive. I'm gonna give you the option if you want to roll athletics dex.
I was really hoping to roll athletics for this.
Nope. You got more dex though.
I do. I have the same amount.
Dex solid though. Nothing else. Just the 3.
Oh no.
Our
No,
fucking
don't.
cover is gonna be
No.
ruined before we get there.
It's a bot.
Alright. No. Hold on. No. You don't get a botch, because I said you could if you wanted to. I was already gonna say that you drove janky. I'm not giving you a botch. So
Haltingly.
just Rebecca pulls out of the area. She doesn't like drive recklessly or dangerously, but is definitely like a little janky with it, brakes when she doesn't necessarily need to, but finally gets a little bit more control of the car, makes it down the road, finds the not even real path, but the dirt road that she was informed about, and starts taking that at just like 5-10 miles an hour, very slowly, cautiously, kindly with the car, and you arrive in the man-made gravelly dirt patch of road. You can see about 1 second. About 10 cars parked. Most of them are short limos. A couple of them are like really nice town cars or Mercedes. No other sports cars though, but still very high-end, expensive cars.
We're not in a sports car. We
We're
rented
in a
a
town
really
car.
nice town car.
I rented like a nice.
I
Lincoln or
was
something.
clarifying there's no other sports cars here. I said other. Okay, so there's no sports cars, but limos, town cars, Mercedes, that sort of brand around. Immediately you can see 4 people standing in the parking lot talking.
Rebecca gets out and then opens Theo's door.
Oh, I would have already gotten out to open his door because you're driving. I will
Okay.
open the door. But yeah, actually, as we approach, where are they standing? Because I feel like it might be great to just show up and just give them the keys, assuming that they're the valet.
Oh my god, Rebecca would do that.
Like just assume that they're the valet, unless. Actually, I would like to auspex just one of them or aura read just to see. Like, if it's a vampire, I might be a little careful, but
Okay. Just clarify, do you want, like, the body language or auspex? Pick one or the other.
Actually, body language makes, I think, a little more sense.
Okay, let's go with perception empathy. Let's go with difficulty 7, but that'll give you the whole crowd.
Hey, I upped one of those.
Can I prime one, mind one to read?
Yes, Rebecca,
Thank
you can
you.
do the same.
DC is 4.
Sure. You fucking mages.
I know. 4 successes.
Alright, both of you immediately realize these are not chauffeurs, ghouls, attendants. These, by their dress, attitude, like, they look almost comically like rich class people laughing and sharing a joke before they go to the party. They're just standing
in
away
that
from the
case.
cars.
Yeah, then
I was
Rebecca's not gonna.
hoping that they would be ghouls and just treat them like their valet, because that just seems like something an extremely rich person would do.
Yeah.
For,
Basically, she'll drive up.
For a little more detail, and I'll repeat it as needed because I have a lot of NPCs coming up. But one of them is an older Asian gentleman. There are 2 white gentlemen, one maybe Eastern European dark hair, possibly Italian, just like kind of that nice complexion, sharp features. And then the other 2, the one looks a little like he's pale, but a little olive skinned. And then there's a woman that has like a very nice pale heart-shaped face with long brown hair.
I will tap on the window in like a large ring finger, just clack 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 till when you let me out.
Okay, no, yeah. So you'll park, and I will immediately be out, kind of like a little whipped, ready, door open, as quickly as I can. Which is nice, because my knee doesn't hurt for the first time in 300 years.
I'll get out of the car. Can I do some combo of like perception, status, ally, something, figure out who these people are, wits?
Hold on.
Assuming they're old money, and if they are from the city, probably rub shoulders. Maybe.
Yeah, you can do wits and alertness as a general role. Doesn't fit exactly, but if you get high enough, it'll totally clear what you want.
Seven successes.
Oh, well, I was gonna offer to roll something different, but fucking never mind then.
Actually, Abraham and Rebecca, tell me, so in detail, there's a lot of cars parked around. I will tell you, you can kind of see there are some drivers still in the cars. There's 4 people you can see outside immediately in the distance. You can make out some of their features. It is dark, getting darker fast, and there's no, like, street lamps or anything else around. Little only bit of, like, starlight kind of giving illumination to people's figures. But you can also see a couple other people slightly more in the distance toward that path you know about that goes down to the dock. Go ahead and give me perception alertness rolls as well.
I feel like I would have sight attuned right now. Under Auspex.
4
Sight?
successes?
Yeah, no, you can use that to get a difficulty of 5. How many did you get, Rebecca?
4.
What?
4?
4? Okay.
8.
Go to hell.
So especially for Theo and Abraham, you pick up that the 4 individuals standing out in the parking lot talking together easily come off as those rich associates. Maybe they haven't seen each other in a while. They're catching up. Their clothing, even if it's minimalistic, like one of them's wearing, it looks like a sweater and jeans and boots, but like just a quick little like extra peek at them, you're like, oh no, those like that sweater's $500, those jeans are $800, that sort of nonsense. So cleaner, simpler outfit, but obviously expensive. The other 2 are wearing a suit and so on and so forth, so you can recognize these are probably guests for sure. You can even tell their skin looks more pallid, so they're probably kindred for sure. But also just glancing through the parking lot, in some of the cars, or every car has someone in the driver's seat. So obviously, like, Abraham had assumed everyone was driven. Some of them seem a little bit more lucid. They're on the phone or just checking, something out, listening to the radio. But there are a number in particularly the limousines that look like they were rented, where they have a glassy, straightforward, blank look that particularly Abraham would recognize as obviously dominated, if not controlled in some other way.
Yeah.
And then finally, Theo, did you ask for something else other than just the details?
Anyone I would know. Powerful people, old blood in New Orleans.
Yeah.
No.
Or, I would know. Okay, cool.
Nope. These are absolute strangers to all of you.
Suspicious.
Cool.
Also, because you all got such high notes, so Rebecca used all of that. Only Abe and Theo from the car specifically got a clear notice that the 2 figures a little further in the distance are 2 guards, very typical big bulky muscle guys in black sweaters and pants and boots with radios on their shoulders and semi-auto rifles in their hands. Rebecca, you might have noticed a couple other people, but you aren't clear about that. It just because they're kind of standing away, you're not sure what they are, who they are. Maybe bouncery types, but Theo and Abraham, you clearly see the guns in the distance in the dark.
As I get out of the car, I beckon my 2 ghouls to me, and a little louder than maybe someone would be if they were being cautious around vampires, but well aware that most vampires can hear a little better than normal. I will just lean over to the 2 of them and go, guns, isn't that cute?
Yes, sir. Oh, and I guarantee Theo will be super excited to just be called Sir by Abraham all night.
By the way, just a description of Theo right now. It's the sort of the standard Baron Samedi, but because he is white, but he has, for lack of a better term, blackface. So black, like pitch black paint to highlight the jaw lines, and just like the Baron normally does.
Blackface, it's face paint, man.
Well,
that one, there's a huge difference.
No. He just roboted out when he said the word paint. He said blackface paint.
Blackface paint.
Black, like pitch black. Like,
Just,
dark army oil black paints.
He's got
to
like
insinuate
paint
features.
on his face.
yeah, black paint. Black
On
paint.
your face. It's bad.
No, but there's another word that you don't use. for
Moving
this.
on.
Anyway. With the top hat and the long
I
coat
want to
and
get
the
through
cape.
this scene in less than 4 weeks.
I'll start walking towards the rich people.
Yep, I will follow. And just as a general rule, I will be walking like I'm a little bit nervous, basically perpetually. Like, just kind of a whipped servant sort of walk.
Rebecca walks normally. Like she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't like she just doesn't like.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'll kind of like walk up to the group, mindfully, and once I'm in like a decent earshot, gentlemen, can I join?
While the group of 4 continues jovially, it seems a body attitude of like catching up. They turn and look at you, and all of them look confused for a moment, but then the older kindred of Asian ancestry smiles and says, I'm not sure we've met. You wouldn't happen to be the Baron, would you?
To help sell the illusion, I'll just kind of like look at him like, I don't. Should we? I don't.
Rebecca kind of like raises a brow, like you should know this, bro.
I'm known by many names, but the Baron is one, if the visage fits. And I'll go like hold a hand out to shake. Oh wait, does handshakes break mask? When everyone knows. Okay, hold on, real quick. Everyone knows the Baron's face is a mask. I've Thanatos my best. Everyone knows the Baron is a mask, so it's not like it's that deceptive, but would it break the entire mask to shake a hand? My hand is my normal hand.
They don't necessarily know that, but the general concept about mask is yes, that feeling the difference can break it. Like, if you touched a wall that looked smooth and it wasn't, even though someone said it's like a hologram on top, it kind of like it breaks the mind thing.
But his hand looks like his hand feels right now. So
it looks however he wants it to. The problem is touching.
Okay, so the Baron doesn't generally shake hands, right?
No.
Okay, I'll sort of like nod in his direction. Forgive me for not shaking.
The brunette in the group kind of just like puts her hand to her face. I didn't know the Baron was coming. She also, it seems like instinctually starts to put her hand out to shake yours. Oh, of course. My apologies. I just so excited to meet a local legend.
My dear girl, you don't know that the band's here yet, do you? Oh, by the way, Theo is wearing actual face paint on his actual face under the mask, if that becomes relevant in the future.
Good to know. But yeah, for sure, anything that's on skin can be masked. You just otherwise have to wear the right clothes. Mask isn't clothing. So
No, I just wanted to point that out, that if it's broken, he's still wearing the same face, but
that's
obviously underneath.
So
if it drops for a split second, it might not be noticed, basically.
Or even if it is, it fits.
Yeah, or if someone's shocked, someone else smarter would go, no, it's okay. It's still a good illusion all around concept and visually. So the Asian man and the young brunette woman and the 2 men with them continue kind of jovially talking with you. And after just a moment, 2 of the guards start walking toward them and nod very empirically and say, everyone else is on board if you would like to join.
Yes, I would definitely like to join. He'll pluck a feather from his hat, which I have now determined are peregrine falcon feathers. Give it to the blonde, I believe you said.
Brunette, two
Brunette.
boys, and an Asian man. He's
The-
actually got like gray hair.
The brunette girl who looked particularly impressed. He'll pluck a feather out of like the 7 or 8 on his head, give it to her. It is for speed, my darling.
I still have my Baron picture, so.
And he
I
is
was
smoking
really
a
hoping
cigar.
that he would hand it to one of the pretend ghouls to hand it to her.
Baron's way more smooth than that.
So, following along with the two guards out of the parking lot, down a muddy bank, it is not very pleasant. The woman in particular is very upset, pulling up her dress and walking slowly in her heels, and even the men are, a bit worried about how much mud is going to end up on their dress shoes. But they finally make it out to the dock. Follow along. Again, it is about like a 3-person wide dock. It is not meant for the grand riverboat that is setting aside of it. But the 2 guards lead you all on board, and actually the 2 of them stay stationed. But as all 3 of you board with your other compatriots, you see, I mentioned it before, but from the outside, what you see is a first floor with a little bit of a railing walkway, like on a lot of riverboats. There is a second floor with another outer walkway, lots of windows and doors to that second floor, and a small captain's deck on top. Just kind of a small little cabin and a little bit of space on what would be the 3rd story for walking around. But as you walk in that front door of the riverboat, you see a long hallway that goes both to your left and your right. You can see some doors down to your left, and it looks like stairways at the very, very end of your left. But the guards lead you through a pair of double doors on that first floor and into a large parlor room. I do have a picture. So inside the first floor is a large, almost kind of a dance floor of polished wood. Flanking both sides are kind of bench seating, some chairs, small tables. Everything looks very old, if not antique, at least designed in the way. If antique, kept up well. There is a very small stage with just the right size grand piano and space for a few stringed instruments. Just above you, you can see a little bit of a balcony, just barely actually roping the size of the room, almost like about 2 or 3 box seats on each side and a little bit of a bench area along the back, not taking up the full 2nd story, but this is what you can see from inside. And as you enter, the 3 of you, Rebecca, Theo, and Luther, as well as the 4 that you were talking to earlier, as you enter, you join and see about 12 other individuals who have already been on the boat, some of them already with cocktail glasses in their hand with deep red liquids. If anybody wants to make a perception roll at this point, you can for further details.
Instead of me saying it every 5 minutes, just Theo will consistently be on alert for anyone he knows from New Orleans or elders or travels.
Good to know.
Perception what?
Can I
Perception
perception
awareness.
empathy?
Let me do the
To
two.
get-
perception alertness first, then we'll follow up with that. For right now, Theo, no, you don't recognize anyone.
When should I do the astral projecting?
Yep, we'll do that in a bit.
I was about to telepathically
I'm
reach
so
out to
fucking
Dinah.
bad at
I'll
rolls.
wait for that
This
then.
is really pathetic. This is really pathetic.
3
Hey, at least
successes.
it's not technically a botch.
It's technically not a botch, but this is really pathetic.
You know, it's a stressful situation. It's understandable.
Like, at least this was alertness. I'm really hoping to get better on the empathy.
Alright, Theo, the only extra thing you really notice is that some of the gathered people still have enough color in their cheeks and their arms that, their ghouls are humans. But you understand the sort of thing that they're probably ghouls. But they're not kindred.
Is there any way to, from Theo's vast experience and maybe Abraham's too, distinguish actual older or young elder vampires, which is kind of what we are, like young elder, but can I tell if someone's old money or new money, basically? I want to know, are they new but powerful or young and old? Or, sorry, or just old. Like new money versus old money. Reading their expressions. I can do a roll for that, subterfuge or empathy or whatever.
I will say... Perception, empathy at 9, because you don't have the dots and the things I would normally call for.
Cool, like it.
Alright, roll the extra 10.
Three successes.
Okay. Let me look at my cast of characters real quick. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean over to Rebecca and sort of reach into a pocket, but Rebecca, I'll probably like move so Rebecca's like blocking the front of my body. She's directly in front of me.
Yeah.
Reach into a pocket that's not actually a pocket, pull out the camera and just slip it to her. I will roll if I need to.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's do a, Dex and Stealth.
Can I roll perception empathy?
Well, no, stealth's fine.
He just wants to kind of get a read on the room in people's body language. You know what I mean?
That can be 6. Which you'll get a general tell with successes. If you do want to ask for something any more specific, the difficulty will go up, but you'll get a better response from me. Up to you one.
I mean, if we were playing Shadowrun rules, I'd have 6 successes, but 5.
So yeah, if you just want to do a regular 6 is fine.
No, it's 5. I re-rolled a 10 on top of exploding 10.
No, me.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, like if she can find, like, yeah, she kind of wants to get an emotional read on the room, and specifically looking for like pockets of calm versus pockets of like maybe people who seem a little more nervous.
Since we don't do a lot of resisted roll, or not resisted,
Contested.
No, there's extended rolls. I don't do them a lot. So let's actually do an extended roll, which is gonna be, Rebecca, go ahead and roll me a regular roll at 6. Then I'll be reading the general feel. Then you can roll me one at 8 for the people who are, what was the emotion you were looking for?
Calm, and then there's unease. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mary, Mother of Jesus.
I mean, eventually.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
7 and 6 is not bad.
And then for the more detailed 1. Oh wait, 2. Because they're at 7. Yes.
I said 8, but you know what? I'm gonna transfer.
Oh,
1.
I'm sorry. At 8, then 2.
No, no, I'm gonna transfer 1. You got 6 at 6 and 2 at 8. Cause I love you. Cause I'm awesome. I ain't trying to make my PCs, OP or anything, but it's fun. Why not? Who cares? Exactly. Like, why does she need 7 successes at reading the general room? So, you read the general empathy throughout the room, and particularly you as a mage, it feels like a wild miasma of colors, and like it's a texture that you couldn't explain to other people. But as you read it, it starts to make you feel very immediately uncomfortable. This is a type of degenerate hunger you have personally never experienced. And at best, you feel like you kind of only saw in the eyes of like prisoners when you watched a documentary. It's just something just absolutely out of your wheelhouse. Just something you haven't experienced in life before, kind of really throws you for a loop. It actually makes you feel a little queasy physically. Mentally, you're thrown off a moment. Maybe even your legs feel noodly for a second. Just only your willpower drives you through for a second, more focused look, just trying to find someone in this place that might actually not be in this complete, animalistic barbarian mindset about, feeding on people. And as you try to like look through the room for that like slightly quieter, calmer soul, you notice 2 bodies near the back. One is definitely tumultuous. Their emotions are all over the place, but it is not the hunger you felt in the rest of the room. And the body next to them is just completely stoic. Like, has really almost no interest in what's going on directly, but maybe a focus on that tumultuous spirit next to him.
Okay.
Inversely, I would like to auspex hearing and listen around the room and see what people are talking about.
Okay.
Because I got a specialty in eavesdropping.
You do. So let's go with perception alertness at 4.
Can I know what these 2 bodies look like? Mr.
Yes,
Tumultuous
they're a
and...
little bit in the shadows, but you can definitely tell that the one looks like a guy in his early 20s. He has kind of wild hair, kind of disheveled. Looks like he really didn't even try to dress up for this, like compared to everybody else around you. Everyone in suits, even at least nice sweaters and slacks, dresses. This guy is just kind of wearing like an old shirt, jeans, boots. It looks like he's almost trying to like kind of be like, fuck you about this situation, or just doesn't care in the first place. Something along those lines. Something's very off about the one guy, the one who has the tumultuous energy. The one standing next to him, however, is in a nice button down with a vest and tie and dress pants, but again, not for this event. Just like this is probably his everyday wear. He's just a dapper guy.
Okay.
Almost looks like a dad who dresses well, keeping an eye on his son who doesn't care.
Okay.
Zibs, you rolled?
7 successes on eavesdropping. I'm just rolling like God today.
All right. Around
I'm taking
the
all
room.
of your successes, Hope.
Rude.
Around the room, you hear a mix of what Abraham would consider mundane conversation, like stocks and business stuff and, what have you done with this thing and that. But you catch earfuls now and then about, are you going to bid on the higher priced items, the lower? Are you trying to get a couple or just one? And now and then someone sounds almost a little like feverish, particularly hungry when they say, I'm trying to get as many as I can. And there's such a wavering conversation and feel throughout the place of the people who are like really hungry to actually get to the auction, and the others that are like, this is just a bit of fun, and if I get something or not, I don't really care.
All right. Also, like, while I'm listening to that, I'm also gonna listen to people's stock tips and, like, make a note to check up on those later.
Of course.
I'm waiting for Abraham's go ahead before I project there.
Oh, yeah, no, and that's about that time I would like reach out to Dinah and are you around?
I can be now.
We're in.
All right.
Rebecca's gonna go see, or make sure that Peter is with the Baron, and try and start to drift away toward the indifferent and the tumultuous.
By the way, real quick, did my 5 dig anything up?
On people you recognize?
Yeah, you said difficulty 9. I got 5 successes, or 4 successes. 5 successes, sorry. Difficulty 9 for people I recognize, old money, new money, that kind of thing. I think the question was generally New Orleans influential kind of idea.
Yep, no one you recognize.
So they're just using our city for their auction. It has nothing to do with New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at 5 successes, they best be at 9 difficulty. They best be hiding well.
Or like, to be fair though,
You found all 0 traps.
there are at least 2 highly influential people from New Orleans in here. We're just hiding very well. No reason
Actually,
to believe that other people wouldn't have done the exact same thing.
Real quick, talk amongst yourselves for a sec.
So I did also get, I think 4 successes in handing the camera off to you, Rebecca/Sabrina.
Cool. Thank you for reminding me that's my name.
I hope that was successful.
Yeah.
But I did sort of I was just digging in a pocket, which eventually you would have seen because I stood in front of you to block.
I'm sure you
everything
did
else.
it very stealthily, given 5 successes.
It's Theo. That's hard to. I don't want to give him too much props here. I feel like he's competent now, and I have to fix that because that's not possible. But yeah, he slips you the camera back. Slightly surprised on his face, you might notice that no one fucking bothered to check for electronics or cameras or recording devices, nothing. And Spira, was there? Oh, sorry. Spirit, was there no invitations, nothing checked? just walk the fuck in?
You were with the group. You're fine.
Invitations were not checked specifically.
Yeah, Abraham was specifically, he had a bit prepared for that.
So did Theo. That's why I was like, they just let us walk into this boat.
Out of curiosity, what was your bit?
So mine was the indignant, how fucking dare you? Of course I wasn't invited. My home is literally hundreds of homes and is on water.
Oh,
He's
I was
not
solidly
done yet.
I was gonna start searching for it and then be like, oh my god, sorry, I'm so
Game's
sorry.
not done yet.
I can go back.
Game's not done yet. Anyway.
So,
No, real quick though. Something important. So, Theo, Abraham, and Rebecca, Abraham/Peter, you've been kind of, gazing around the room, getting your perspective of who's here and who's gathered. While it seems like just some old socialites and aristocrat type people gathering and chatting in this big open floor of the, area. After a few moments, the curtain on the back stage of the first floor flutters slightly away, and a very young girl, probably about 8 years old, in a nice white lacy dress, comes out walking along to the front of the stage. Rebecca, you were told about a character like this from Luther's recent game.
I was?
Yes. Now, real quick, she is walking out slowly and daintily. She's still got short steps, as young as she is. Dinah, you're back out on the boat with Luther, and you realize that the boat's engines have started. Everyone's been on board as far as you can all see, and you realize it's a good time to probably at least check in once if you can. Go ahead and roll for me.
I did a second ago. You have to spend willpower to get in.
Okay.
So that's 3, I think. With the willpower.
Alright, you're good. You can get inside the boat. No one will notice you unless they have like Auspex 8 or something. You're good to go. You enter into the space of the boat. It's a little debilitating for a moment, the way it feels seeing things in a natural form, but you quickly take in the scope of the area. You can spot Rebecca, and Abraham, even though he's in Peter's body and Rebecca looks a little different. You know the three of them from what they were supposed to look like. They did the disguise for you. And as you continue looking around the room, no one else looks particularly familiar to you. But also as you look to the stage, you see a young girl in a white lacy dress that clicks something in your memory. As a reminder for Rebecca and Dinah, Luther had later told you he went to a very interesting poker game with a child kindred, that E at the end, wearing a white lacy dress and seemed like some sort of incredible big shot. Like, he could almost feel how old she was.
Does Theo get that same feel, or do I need to roll again?
I'm going to say, just because I know what your sheet is, you will feel the presence off of this young person. This is an 8-year-old walking on the stage at a Diablerie auction, and everyone is turning their attention to her. Even without that context clue, you can also still feel some power off of her. Something is very distinctly frightening about this young girl.
Clementine, is that you?
She's white.
I don't know her life.
You said she comes out on. She's
It's
on stage,
Clementine's evil twin.
and then I'll raise Clementine to fight off the. It works.
Oh my god, imagine if that was the end of all of our streaming.
Some kind of Star Wars Jedi Sith fight between Clementine and her evil twin.
I only gave a pause if anyone wanted to communicate.
She's on stage, correct?
She's walking toward a microphone, but she's taking her time. She's making a show of it.
I'm gonna try to communicate with Abraham that I'm there mentally.
Rebecca's still gonna walk toward the two.
Yeah,
Hello.
I did it.
I will nod. You know, on a boat full of vampires, saying things that you don't want everyone to hear is probably not the greatest decision.
So, the young girl finishes her long, languid walk along the stage toward a microphone, and she stops just in front of it. One second. The cute young girl in a little white lacy dress grabs the microphone that was still just a couple inches too high, even though it had been, it seems, maybe set for her. Adjusts it slightly a little lower and pulls it towards herself. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm as excited for tonight as everybody else is, I think. And there's a bit of a soft aristocratic laugh from the crowd. Well, the events aren't just ready. We've got a couple more things to take care of. But, how about we enjoy a little bit of music, and then we'll all head upstairs for the main event. And she gives the tiniest little curtsy and begins walking off stage as 4 people walk onto stage and begin playing the 2 stringed instruments, a large cello and a violin. Someone goes to the piano, and a skinny young woman begins crooning out some classic jazz tunes as the night takes off. Before we end the night, as a cliffhanger, let me hear from all of our players their next thoughts and possible movements. Let's start with our quote-unquote ghouls, Rebecca and Abraham /
Hey.
Peter.
It's Sabrina.
/ Sabrina.
Sabrina, sorry, my bad. All right, so Rebecca / Sabrina, Abraham / Peter.
She is nervous as goddamn hell after getting that emotional read on the room. Like, she absolutely, like, she wants to talk to Mr. Tumultuous and Mr. Indifferent because, in part because their aura is different, and also in part because they aren't, like, they don't have murder on their, like, immediate vibe.
Peter is, first his thought is, of course, someone who embraced a child would be running something like this. That's just classic. However, he's probably going to continue listening to the party, trying, just continuously eavesdropping, trying to find someone who's talking about something that, drops a name or drops a little bit more information than just what they're planning on buying. And he's generally, unless things change, he's generally going to be a whipped little ghoul for the Baron.
All right, last person on the boat, Theo.
Theo slash the Baron is just observing with mild, almost annoyance about being kept waiting. Surveying the landscape, looking around, and trying to find anything interesting to converse with. He doesn't care if it's a couch, a wall, or a person.
And last but not least, Luther and Dinah. You're out on the boat, still kind of like, at that nice chug of a speedboat thing, not the full speed, just that like kind of following along the river. You do hear, or you heard for a little while ago that the engines of the steamboat started. So just, how you feeling? What you thinking? Dinah, you did see inside as well?
I'm a ghost. Spooky. No, I don't know. She hasn't really had time to assess anything yet. The jazz is bad. I could have done better.
You know what? In canon, absolutely. They were like, whoever you can get
like,
that will
even
care.
though her focus is other places, that is absolutely something petty she would think.
Totally in canon. I thought of myself already. It's not a great band. They just needed some music.
They need some people who could keep their mouths shut, I'm sure. And yeah, Luther is nervous as usual, but trying to keep his mind off it with just having fun on the boat. And has no idea how, if anything goes wrong, what he could even really do. But yeah.
All right. So, till next time, I want to say thank you, everybody that comes out and watches us live. Thanks to everybody who watches us on YouTube. We really appreciate your support and interest in the channel. We love all of you who come out and watch us live and chat with us. It's so much fun to hear you guys and see your hilarious comments. If you want to check out details on at least times we play, down below we have our Twitter where I always post stuff. Our Discord link is also down below. We have a really awesome Discord for everyone who loves chatting about roleplay games as well as anything else. We've got a good community. Come and join us. We want to hang out with you. And then, yeah, we will continue to update the YouTube and everything else going forward. We had a very busy few months of family stuff and weddings and parties and God knows what else. So, one of those things when you're heading towards your 30s, roleplay becomes, as much as you want it to be every day, it's just, gotta fight for it. Anyway. So we love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you very soon. Next week, we'll continue the auction story, and it will continue to get more and more enticing. So we'll see you then. So until the next time, we have our kindred and our mage infiltrating a dark, debauched party and trying to not get themselves or anybody else killed unless they deserve it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, boo.